You're listening to Ernestly Speaking, the only weekly podcast that covers friends, foes, and anything that goes. And now, for your badass host, Ernest Owens. For a new episode of Ernestly Speaking with your host, Ernest Owens, myself. Welcome to the season 3 premiere. I am just like, wow, we're back. Like, we're back. We're back outside, as they would say. Season 3. Wow, we've made it to 3 seasons. We've been going, haven't we? This has been a joyride, to say the very least. Producing a show that so many people all over Philadelphia and the East Coast and the country, and even international, listen to and want to listen to. Like, I go out in the stores and the streets, and people come up to me and like, when's the new episode coming? When's the new episode coming? And I'm like, it's coming, July. Yeah, July 17th. That's what you said. You said the premiere was going to come July 17th or 18th. I was like, yeah, that's right. That's right. The season premiere. Yep. So here we are. I'm like speechless because it's been surprising that what was birthed out of the pandemic has continued to captivate audiences for so long. We're getting close to the 100th episode of this show, which is wild because I, always felt like I was starting off like a novice podcaster. Now I kind of feel like a podcasting expert a little bit. I've had some episodes under my belt. I feel like I could tell people how to keep producing and going through it. I'm kind of like J. Cole. I don't really do any features, so it's really just me and this mic, and it's not easy doing a one man show. But I love it, and I wouldn't love to do it any other way because this is my outlet to really talk really uncensored, unfiltered. Without any revisions, edits, and everything else in between. It's just straight up me, independent, talking my shit and, giving people information. So I'm super excited. And don't we have a lot to catch up on? We have a lot to catch up on. Because the last time we did this episode, it was the 4th of Jamarcus. We were getting ready to celebrate the 4th of Jamarcus. And then all of a sudden, a lot of stuff happened immediately after. And I kept sitting at home like, yo, God, I really want to get on there. I said, nope, take this fucking break, Mr. Owens. Take this break. I told myself, don't do it. I was tempted. Y'all don't understand how hard it was for me to just say, no. I told them I'll be back July 18th. I told them I would be back then. I am not doing anything. I have to take this time to relax, to, recharge, and to come back to knock out season 3 for the remainder of the year. And I need to take this break because from now till the end of the year, there's really going to be not any stops. Just like the first half of the year, season 2 there weren't any really breaks, any stops. It was just, we just kept going. And so that was the break, and I need to take it. And it was the time I take a break, that's when everybody want to show their ass, right? That's when everybody want to cut loose and get wild and do the doggiest shit. But, that's just where we are right now. We are in the roaring 20s. Okay, welcome to the roaring 20s of the 21st century. I mean, that's where we are. This is just nonstop. And you just have to have the stamina, the confidence, the faith, the witherall to just keep pushing through, because it is going to be something every week. That's just where we're at right now. The world is having revolution. Sri Lanka is kicking out presidents. Italy out here got their own fights going on. Boris Johnson is fighting it through over there. That's the Trump of the Great Britain. It's a lot of stuff going on across the Atlantic and in the United States. I mean, there's just revolution all over. Just revolution after revolution. This is an interesting time that we're in. I hate the word unprecedented, but that's what the fuck it is. It's all unprecedented. Everything is unprecedented. People want change. People are fed up. insurrectionists are being called out in this country. It's just a lot of Ukraine. Like it's still the war is still raging in Ukraine, which I know comes as a surprise to many because it felt like at that point in time we was entering World War III. But what's been interesting is everyone thinks that Ukraine is just doing superbly well, but it seems like they really need some help. And I don't know if it was international media or whomever was just really downplaying the that Russia is really on them, and it is a lot going on over there. So we just need to just hold them in our thoughts and prayers and support them where we can. But there is also a war happening in the United States for our democracy, right? We have insurrectionists and white supremacists that are trying very hard to put their people through the U.S. Senate and Congress, and that needs to be given a lot of attention, right? So much has happened, as you can tell. There's still mass shootings happening across the country. Yeah, it's a lot. We're coming into a lot, but I had to take a break as much as I could. I relaxed. I vacationed, as you all know. I went to New York. More on that in a minute. I did some shopping. I did some what they call that retail therapy, whatever that is, but I did some of that. I definitely took some time to enjoy it because like this week, next week, the week after, it's going to be go 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 for me. Um, so I'm happy that I took that early July to just recenter. We all did, all of my friends. I feel like all my friends had some type of vacation or something. Jamarcus vacation. My homegirl Amanda is back in Philly. Well, with an abstract because she's still trying to, hit her family parts around before she settles officially in. But we got a chance to catch up at brunch at Booker's, which was really nice. Um, Booker's still got it on the brunch tip. I haven't been to Booker's in a minute for brunch, but it was cute. It was a real cute brunch. Um, well, who else vacation? Lauren went on vacation. Jamarcus, of course, had the New Orleans Houston experience. He's back. His birthday was great. I love all of you all who were showing mad support to his new single, Boy of the South, which is awesome. I'm sorry, Boy from the South. I always say Boy of the South. Boy from the South, which is his hit, his new single. And he's going to be performing it at Level Up in the Gayborhood on July 27th. Doors open at 7:30, free admission. I think you have to must be 21 and up because there's liquor being served. But it is going to be lit. He will be performing and doing a showcase. They're doing the 1 year anniversary of Philly's Most Wanted. Interesting title. Marcus G is a performer in the neighborhood, black gay performer, and summoned my bestie to perform in this showcase. So he'll be performing his new hit single live, and we'll be performing other songs. Of course, I'll be there. Of course, the Lit Brothers will be there, and you get to see us in person. It's still a pandemic, so no touching, but it will be fun. Come through if you can. That's on a Wednesday. That's next Wednesday. It's a black gay bar. Now I've been throwing some shots at this bar. No pun intended. Um, because we don't really do clubs. But as far as a performance, I mean, if there's a bag and there's a performance, oh, we'll show up. So we're gonna be making our appearance at that club. I've never been into Level Up. It used to be Boxers PHL back in the day. So for people who trying to figure out where it's where Boxers PHL was. Now it's Level Up. It's black owned, from what I know, and it's an interesting scene. A lot of I this is what the streets have told me. I don't know to be certain. Mm. Some black adult entertainments, gay adult entertainers, a lot of them host events there. The parties get a little spicy, I hear. That's what I hear. I don't know who the entertainers are. But I have heard that they have had some showcases there. Um, I don't think it was porn showcases, but the entertainers have had events there. Let me clarify. But nonetheless, they also have music artists and talent. I was going to say real talent, but talent. I guess talent is very subjective depending on what kind of talent. But musical talent, raw musical talent is also showcased there at the club. So Wednesday night, Level Up, Jamarcus Henderson in the house performing his new smash hit single, Boy from the South, or as I love to affectionately call it, or the rest of us do, a real good turn up. But it's also, the acronym is BFTS. So if you put BFTS in Spotify, which I don't really fuck with, but it's on Spotify for the girls who like Spotify, but it's also on YouTube Music. That's what I listen to. Google Play, of course, that's where I'm in that mix. Apple, all the major music players, you should be able to find it and bop to it. And there's gonna be visuals coming. There's gonna be a lot of things coming. He was a busy boy over there in Texas with the visuals, so there will be visuals coming. Because unfortunately, some of our favorite Houston artists outside of Mr. Henderson, Beyonce, still is holding out on those visuals. But later on this podcast episode, I have a theory about when that visual is coming out. And my predictions have been pretty good lately about a lot of things. So stay tuned for that. But there will be visuals for that. For my bestie, he is doing it all. There's a new single in the mix. He's in the studio doing that. I'm excited. I love new music. And actually, his album, Atonement, you can listen to his previous album he did a while back. It was like in 2019 before the pandemic. It was called Atonement. It came out in September. I am a stan, okay? Stan your friends. That album is really good. There's some songs in there that I just live for. I still play one of them. Tears Fall Down is a jam. Energy is one of my favorite bops too. Keep that same energy. You got it. I love it. But this album, from what I hear, this new project, these singles coming out are really upbeat. It's following that dance music, house music, New Orleans vibe that we always grew up on, but now the rest of you are being exposed to it through Beyonce, Big Freedia and all the Break My Soul energy. So it's great. So listen to the bop. You can share, you can play. You probably saw on my Instagram story a couple of times, but I just love the jam. It is my song of the summer personally. And yeah, the showcase is July 27th. Go check him out. There's some other Black queer artists that will also be performing as well. Lit Brothers will be in the house to support one of our own. And we're just so excited. So, yes. Again, July 27th, Wednesday. Doors open at 7:30. Just come through. 21 and up. If you want to buy the dollar drink, you can buy the dollar drink. I do like drinks. And it's gonna be a good time. So I'm super excited for him. We're all excited. Josh, George, all of us are excited, and all our friends are very happy. So I just had to put that plug, and it's not even a shameless plug because I have no shame regardless. But I love it. So that's happening. What else? So New York. Because I'm just catching up on my personal life before we get into the spiciness of this. This is a long agenda. This is probably going to be a super epically long episode, but our season premieres often do. This is the third one. Three's a charm because we're catching up and because we got to set the precedent. Okay, this is the Unbossed season 3 premiere. Okay, I am unbossed. Okay, and there's a reason why. So New York, went to New York, y'all. Enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. I made myself have a good time. Let me just clarify that. I caught up with some good friends. My husband and I did. Mr. Johnson, when Newfie was there. Of course, our fave Abel was there. It was just such a sweet time. And we had a beautiful time. We didn't just go and see everybody. My girl Nina hit me up. She was enjoying Shakespeare in the Park. It was a lot of things going on, but we just wanted to make it intimate and make it real, boom, boom. But, apparently I'm called the King of Philadelphia, according to my good Judy Nina. So whenever she comes town, she sees through. I've been adapting this term by this woman, which we've talked about her, Nally Nunn, who has baddies. And she always goes, I run LA, I run this town. I kind of feel like that about Philly right now. I run this town, I run Philly. No. But my friends be egging this on though. This I run this. They egg me on with that, and I need. To I'm just thinking about a situation recently where I can't stop. But yes, I run this town. I run Philly. Is how I feel. And so she comes and my good girl Samantha Thomas. We all get together and brunch and eat and things. We love a good white dog, and white dog has been good to us. I was at White Dog this weekend with my Aunt Benet, and Mr. Johnson and I went and had dinner. And I went to White Dog is so good. I went to White Dog on Saturday for brunch and for dinner. Okay, that's just it was a lot. It was a lot going on. But anywho, so New York. because I need to just take a moment for New York. New York was good. I made sure New York was good. New York could have been chaotic if I didn't put my foot down and like really articulate what we were doing here. New York is a big ass city, as you all know. I'm not saying anything new. We made this a very focused New York trip. New York is the type of city that if you try to go to every part of New York or try to do all that shit in a weekend, you will fail. You'll be stressed because everything is fucking far. See, what I love about Philly is that you can go to, Philly forces you to go all across the city because not one area alone is enough to spend the entire weekend. You'll get bored. So, like, if someone said to me, I want to be in Center City, like, for a couple of days. You stayed there for like 2 days, you would get bored because it's like it's a small area. It's not. I mean, it's a small little part of the city. There is some action, but it's not enough to keep you there for just one period. Philly forces you to branch out because every distance is like less than 30 minutes apart. So, going to Center City, you could go to Old City, you could go to Northern Liberties, you could go to what you can hit up a lot of different areas in Philly within like 2 to 3 days. New York is just not like that. If there's a lot going on in one area that can take up enough time. Like if you're in Manhattan, you could literally be in New York for 2 days in Manhattan and still not explore all of it. You could go to Brooklyn for 2 days and have an experience in Brooklyn. You could go to Harlem, the Bronx, whatever. You could go to different parts of New York and literally nest out there for several days. And that could be fine. Like you could have a weekend in Brooklyn, you could have a weekend but you can't like have a weekend in Center City. You can't have a weekend in West Philly. You have to there's enough time and space where you can hit up different parts. And that's how you really should experience Philly, to be honest. Visit Philly. I like my invoice. Look at me promoting Philly right now. I got to hold it down. But to New York, we decided that we wanted to have I'm saying this affectionately. We wanted to have the cheesiest New York type of like vacation weekend, which meant that it was like in the heart of New York. We was in Times Square. We was at Hotel Edison, which literally was a block away from the heart of Times Square where the steps are. We was in the middle of Manhattan, super touristy, super New York as the public sees it. Big tall buildings, big views. That was the vacation we had. We did not have the historical, go to the museums. It was dinners. It was Broadway. It was the Manhattan Strip. We had it very cute and compact because that was the New York experience I've never had in my entire life. And I wanted to do that first before I did anything else. So to people who were hitting me up like, you should go to, what they tell me I should go to? I think they were like, oh, you should go to Harlem. You should go to this. You should go to, listen, I know that that there are other places, but I need to have the corniest Manhattan, Times Square, New York, like cheesy touristy experience first, so that I could get out my system. Because I've always wanted to stay in a New York hotel, and I was very intentional that I wanted to be in Hotel Edison because Hotel Edison was connected to the Broadway show that we went to go see, which was Tina the Musical. Which, sidebar, the best damn thing I've seen in years live. Oh my God. We went to Bond 45, which is connected to Edison, which is a long, historic New York restaurant. It is New York to the T as far as that downtown. We went to Victor's Cafe, a long time, Cuban restaurant that is a staple in downtown New York. Like it's the restaurant that like is a part of it. Like every list you go to around Times Square, Manhattan, you just have to go there. Then we did something cool and hippish. We went to the Seaport and there was a pop-up restaurant called, I think it's Brooklyn, but it's not in Brooklyn, but it's Sundays in Brooklyn or at Brooklyn or something. The restaurant's actually in Brooklyn, but there's also one at the Seaport that's serving as a pop-up, and that was fabulous. And that was something cool and different to mix up the scenery. But we really kept it. It was a real full fleshed out New York experience. And I really enjoyed the New York City of it all. I really enjoyed the Manhattan of it all. Now, the next times I go to New York and down the road, I definitely am going to do a Brooklyn situation down the road because Abel lives in Brooklyn, Nina lives in Brooklyn, a couple other folks I know. But I don't really like to, to be clear, let me just full disclaimer, or in disclosure, both, I guess. I have a lot of. I went to Penn with a lot of annoying people who left to go to New York, and many of them I don't really will want to bump into, and I really don't like, and I really don't. I think that's why I've always been kind of turned off from New York, is because I know a lot of people that live in New York that I don't really like. So I just never really have an interest to go because I just don't want to bump into stupid people. But in this regard, I felt like it was cool having this experience that was like no frills, curated very much so to the T. And I'm a master planner. I was like, these are the stops I want to hit. I didn't want to get on the train, which I did not get on. I did not get on the subway because the subway is long as hell. There's so many stops. There was a stabbing of a 14-year-old boy that was there when we was that weekend when the 14-year-old boy was stabbed to death. That was the same weekend we were in New York. There was all these odd stops I was hearing and things. I was like, mm-mm. So we definitely Ubered everywhere. But the cute thing was we didn't really Uber that much because everything that we went to was in close proximity to each other. So the Broadway theater, the theater that was connected, I think, the theater was connected to, um, that was connected right next to Hotel Edison was a theater that had the Tina Turner musical. Bond 45 was also connected, and Victor's cafe was a couple of blocks down. And let me also clarify: Victor's Cafe in New York is not the same Victor's Cafe in Philadelphia. They are very different. Victor's Cafe in Philadelphia is a South Philly tradition. Mr. Johnson and I have went on many dates there earlier in our relationship, and it's Italian and it's beautiful. This place is also grand and beautiful, but it serves Cuban food. It's a Latin flair. It's the energy is very different, but also very fabulous. Let me just add, both of them are great places to go. But we wanted to have something that was like very more New Yorkish. But I do plan to go back a couple more times. But I think one thing I know for sure is that I am definitely going to. It was a Fontaine Theater. That's where we went to go see Tina. The Fontaine Theater, which is like in the heart of Broadway, which we were basically in Broadway. Like we the Hotel Edison is a Broadway theater, pretty much like a Broadway hotel. I mean, we were right across the street from Hamilton. We was right next to Paradise Square, which I had talked about a couple episodes back. We were right next to all the hot shows. Everything was next to us. But we went to go see Tina, the musical, which we did. And let me just say that it was electrifying. It was fantastic. Raw talent, raw vocals. It was energizing. It was a fun show. It was a show that was deep, but not depressing. They ebbed and through different aspects of her life. The energy was high. It was a really even balanced musical. Because as someone who's a thespian, who has done musicals, who also have gone to musicals across the country, from Houston to now New York to, of course, Philadelphia, a lot of times there are some shows that start off really high and then end very high, but the middle is always, just like a little bumpy. This was a show that had energy throughout. Like everything had high energy throughout the show. It was to a point where I was like, "Oh, this must be when we get um to the break, to the to the middle of the show where they take the break or whatever." No, the intermission. Like, it was not the intermission. Like, some, because I know some shows, they don't do, what they'll do is they'll have a high opening, they'll have a high ending before we get to the intermission, and then they have a high ending for the conclusion of the show. This show, everything was on high energy. Everything was just very philosophical. It was just a beautiful play. It was a beautiful musical, beautiful acting, beautiful music. It was just really well done. It's like a good steak that just seasoned at the top and even throughout it, like not the end. It was just perfect. It was a perfect musical. That's how I would describe it. It was a perfect musical. It was perfect. I just was like, this is how you fucking do it. And I was impressed. It will be coming on a national tour to Philadelphia in November at the Kimmel Center. Listen to this podcast episode. I'm going to reiterate this point right now. Listen to me very clear. When those tickets hit, for Tina the Musical in November of this year. Do not walk, do not reconsider. You better run like hell to get those tickets. I'm just going to tell you that right now because you're going to have FOMO. Okay? If you can't get down to New York and see the show, which I highly recommend, but if you can't get down to New York to see the show, then, Kimmel will have it in Philly, y'all. I am telling you right now, do not act like you was not warned. Because when it hits Philly is not ready for Tina the Musical. Philly is not ready. Because I know how Philly act. The way that Philly act about Hamilton and lost its mind over Hamilton, if people really go see Tina, you will be doing the same. It will be the same energy. Because that show is electrifying. I don't even care about Hamilton, to be honest. I love Tina the Musical. It's just, oh. But like I said, it's a rock star experience. That is the show to watch. It is impressive. And I say this because there's been so many musicals that's come on Broadway there's been this trend of biopics about music artists integrated to musicals. So earlier this year, Laura and I, one of my good friends, Laura and I, saw Beautiful, that musical, which was really good, and it was based on it was like it was a musical about Carole King, and she did the album Tapestry, and it was a beautiful just musical. I had a good time watching it. That was great. What I loved the most about Beautiful, and I saw it at the Kimmel. What I loved about that musical was that it was the final. First of all, I hear that the final Broadway performance is going to be in October. So if you can get your tickets, it was a Tony Grammy Award winning musical. The original lead actress who played Carole King won the Tony for Best Lead Actress, just like the original lead actress for Tina the Musical won the Tony for Best Lead Actress. That was a good musical because I learned that she wrote so many songs that I didn't know she had done before, and it was just beautiful. The performance was great. It was a good musical. It was pretty cool. But Tina just, black artist. I mean, I'm just sorry, but Tina, the Tina Turner performance is just it requires a lot of dancing and singing. Versus Carole King's performance was very acting driven, song driven too, and piano playing. But there wasn't the dancing and choreography elements to it. From her, which was not to say that the performance was bad. She clearly won a Tony. But with Tina Turner's character, how they portray her, she is dancing nonstop, but yet singing the most extreme vocals and giving a steering emotional range of performance. It's an eye to behold. There was a Cher musical, I want to say, a couple years back, where the lead actress who played Cher also won the Tony. There is an interest now in doing a lot of that. Jagged Little Pill has a musical, but that's how people are coming back to Broadway. Bruce Springsteen did a musical of some sorts. But that's the trend right now, is all of these musical biopics turning into Broadway musicals, because that's how they're getting a new audience of people to come to Broadway. It's smart. But one of the things that I will say is my critique, and this is not to Tina, because Tina was done well, but a lot of these musicals, I feel like, cheapens the actual support of real original Broadway musicals that are original screenplays that are not based off of books, or not based off of like a celebrity or a particular person. So like, I know a lot of people are going to go see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, which is fine, but it's like, I would like to see original, like because it's almost like I think that the musical biopics are like kind of becoming the super action hero films in Hollywood, where we're not seeing a lot of original written for the screen movies. Everything is being adaptations of super, super commercial popular stuff. And so, as someone who loves original Broadway musicals, like I love musicals like, what's one of my, Wicked, right? Which I know Wicked was based off of a book, but Wicked is, the way it was done is very Broadway. It's very Broadway, okay? I know people like The Lion King. Lion King is a great adaptation, right? But I'm thinking of stuff like, and I know, like, what really kicked this trend off was like Mamma Mia. Mamma Mia's success, I think, really sputtered that kind of thing. And then Disney did their own thing, right, by recreating movies, right? So it's all these musicals that are not, most of them are not that good. Like Tarzan kind of came and went. Aladdin was pretty special. Beauty and the Beast was aight. Um, Mary Poppins kind of was like so. People, was here and there. But like there's like the Disney wing where Disney has taken over the one Broadway sector. But I'm thinking of musicals like Spring Awakening. I'm thinking of musicals like Evita. I'm thinking of musicals like Gypsy. I'm thinking of musicals like Phantom, right? Again, there are some exceptions, like The Color Purple being adapted, right? There are some exceptional adaptations, but I just feel like a lot of the other adaptations are not up to par, and they're getting support because of the fandom. So I'm gonna call out one musical, and a lot of people are gonna think this is an unpopular opinion, but I have to say it. The Michael Jackson Experience, the Michael Jackson musical, a lot of people are raving about it. I'm not a fan. I do not appreciate the revisionist history that they've done to that musical. Now, Miles Frost, who won the Tony for Best Lead Actor in a Musical, young guy, and talented black actor and performer, it won. Notice have y'all noticed a pattern here yet? That a lot of the lead actors winning Tony musicals are winning. Like where are the Pay LaPones, right? Like Company, like that's a Broadway musical, y'all. Like, anywho, I feel like my issue with that musical is that it's very revisionist, and it's purposely revisionist. Like they don't talk about any of the allegations, but it's supposed to be a biopic, like type of musical. But this also reflects to me about Hollywood. Like Hollywood, over the past several years, have been obsessed with giving Oscars to people who play historical figures. Like no one's interested anymore in original characters getting Oscars. Like we're not like Forrest Gump is an original theatrical character to a certain extent. I mean, it it's a film. It's a film. It's incredible. There was a novel to Forrest Gump, right? But like I'm not too pressed about book adaptations into films because I still believe actors can transform. But I'm thinking about like Tony Maguire, right? Like that was an Oscar nominated role, but Jerry Maguire, not Tony Maguire, Toby Maguire, no, Jerry Maguire. I feel like has like that film, which came out like 25 fucking years ago. Well, I was 6 when that movie came out, so Renee Zellweger, you complete me. Like all that went over my head. But but like I think about Bridget Jones' Diary, but that was also based off a book. Like, is there any fucking original films? I'm just thinking of like I'm okay with book adaptations. I just feel like adaptations that are based off of like other people's lives, like mainstream figures, I think just is cheap. Versus, I mean, even if the performance is great, like again, I think that Angela Bassett should have won the Oscar for Tina Turner against, Holly Hunter and the Piano. Even though Holly Hunter and the Piano was incredible, I thought that, Angela Bassett playing Tina Turner was great. But I guess my frustration is that there's too many already known characters. It's easy to get people to go to those shows. It's a cheap escape versus how much work it takes to get people to see new material like Hadestown or, something that people haven't really heard about or knew about, and a Broadway show will open them to it. Like when I think of Rent, like Rent has its problems, let's be clear, but or like Dear Evan Hansen, but I think of like Rent, like it opened a group of people up to a show like no one really knew anything about. I mean, Jonathan Larson, the late great Jonathan Larson, wrote a show, and you didn't know what you was getting into. Like you walked into it and you were just like, wow. And word of mouth made a show great. Now it's kind of like you don't really need to know because you already know the person. So like Michael Jackson's easy to sell. It was going to be a hit, It was going to be a hit. It was going to be popular because of how popular Michael Jackson is. Like if they make a Janet Jackson musical right now, I'm buying the tickets like the first fucking day. That's just, what I'm saying? Like, there's just some stuff that you just know. And as a person that likes original art, or at least a little bit more work, I just would like to see more original. Like A Strange Loop, for example, which I know some of my friends that went to go see the show. I saw My friend Chris go see it. That's an original show, and I actually know the guy who created it. Actually, we are good followers on Twitter. His name is Michael Jackson. Actually, his name is Michael Jordan, and I think it's funny because he has to change, like, so I don't know if people know this, but his name is Michael Jackson. So I get him confused. So Michael Jackson is his name, but it's Michael R. Jackson. He goes by Michael R. Jackson. But there's like Michael B. Jordan. If you didn't use the B and just called him Michael Jordan, would that be interesting? Like, his name is actually Michael Jordan. But we have to call him Michael B. Jordan to make sure there's no confusion. Like, he literally has to have the B initial, otherwise it's just Michael Jordan. And there's only one Michael Jordan that we acknowledge. There's only one Michael Jackson. So everybody else has to be with an initial. And it really feels different. Like, when I say Michael R. Jackson, it just completely feels different. I can't imagine anyone else. Like Samuel L. Jackson. Like, you can't call him Sam Jackson. It has to be Samuel L. Jackson. Not that there's any other Samuel Jacksons out there that I know of, but I'm just saying there's just initials matter, basically. Fortunately, there is only one Ernest Owens that you all know in these streets. And I'm not making it an Ernest L. Owens. It's just Ernest Owens. But, like, Ernest L. the L in my middle name is for Lee. But it's just Ernest Owens. I don't have to put a initial because it's just Ernest Owens. I think I've built enough clout to make it the most popular Ernest Owens in the country, in the world, probably, hopefully. But yes, I just think the Michael Jackson musical in general is just, I can't. And there's just so many other good shows to watch. Like, if I come back to New York, I want to see Chicago. Again, another original, like, Broadway type of show. I have to see Chicago. I'm going to a wedding later this year that I'm, like, dragging my feet on. I don't really want to go. But I'm going to go see Chicago. I'm going to get those tickets. I do need to see A Strange Loop. I have to figure it out. I hope it comes to Philly soon. But yes, we got to see original shows, Broadway shows. And let me be clear, because some of y'all are like, what about Chicago the musical? Wasn't the musical inspired the movie, baby? Like Hairspray, which, Hairspray had a movie adaptation, but they turned it into a musical. Like Matilda. I know Matilda is interesting because Matilda was an original movie I watched as a child with Danny DeVito and Mara Wilson. Then they made a musical that was a hit on Broadway. And then they turned it into they're going to turn it into a movie this fall that's a musical film. So that's interesting within its own self. Like The Color Purple was was a book that was highly successful. It was a film that was highly successful. It was a musical that was highly successful. And then it's going to become a musical film that's also going to be highly successful. Like, Alice Walker is swimming in money. But she has some other things she should be thinking about. But I won't get into that. But she could think about a couple other things she should change about herself, her ideas or some things. But I'm not going to go there. Not this podcast episode. But Color Purple is legendary. Cannot take that away from her. Michael Jackson musical. Go see Tina before you go see Michael Jackson. Don't go see. I don't recommend it. I know people are telling people to watch it, but like, But I know everybody's taking their kids to see it. But like, come on, y'all. Come on. I can't. Go see Tina. Tina's much better. She's not problematic. But shameless plug. So anyway, I loved my time in Broadway. Loved my experience watching Tina. Enjoyed my restaurants. I have to say this, though. New York, y'all drink prices are ridiculously high. Your drinks are good, though. I will say that I didn't have a bad drink in New York, but every drink in New York was just ridiculous, okay? I did not have a drink in New York that was less than $17. Well, I'll take that back. There was a bar we went to that had a happy hour that was from 11 to 2. And those drinks, they had a select few drinks that were $10. Philadelphia, stand up. Because Philadelphians know that there's no such thing as going to a happy hour where drinks are in the double digits. Their happy hour drinks were $10. New York, I don't know what y'all doing, okay? But y'all need to get it together. I was shook because a happy hour in Philly is like $5, $7 drinks. You know what I'm saying? You don't spend $10 for a drink on happy hour. Original drink is like around 10 to 13 bucks, sometimes 15 at the highest. But in New York, I was seeing drinks in the 22s and 19s. And Mr. Johnson liked him a nice old fashioned. And we were just like, ooh, the cost of two old fashions is a bottle, baby, of a good whiskey. So it was interesting. That was an interesting observation. I will definitely say the drinks got me. Food was okay. Food was modestly priced. I mean, if you go to some expensive restaurants, whatever, I wasn't tripping about the food. The food didn't take me. It's just that consistently at every restaurant I saw in New York, drinks were just ridiculously higher. Everything else was touch and go. Also, I will never drink you all's tap. New York tap water, I'm not touching it with temp. I don't really do tap water, but New York's tap water, baby. I'm just telling you, somebody who has went to Philadelphia restaurants and have tried that water, their water, I know that that like some restaurants like sparkling tap. You just be like, I don't care about it, just tap. I had to be like sparkling, regular, or I just didn't drink the water at all. And I don't know if any of my friends notice that when I go out, I don't really drink water. Have anyone noticed that? Any of my friends when we go out? I don't know. Just random. They'll probably text me because they listen to the show. But like, have anyone? I've never fronted this, but I'm just never a drinker of water at restaurants unless I've ordered a specific type. Like I've like, oh, I want filtered or whatever. But if we're going for tap that day, I'm not drinking the water. I don't know why. I know that might be a little whatever for you, but I just don't drink. I just don't. I don't know. It's just not for me. What else about New York? New York is crowded, but we knew this already. New York Uber rates are ridiculous. It does take a long time to get from place to place, but that's why if you're gonna go, go. New York is ridiculous with their hotels because let me tell you, I loved Hotel Edison for its convenience, but like, thank goodness I wasn't like in there all day because New York hotels will shake you down, baby. There was no microwave. There was no fridge. It's like they want you to spend money. But they gave us like breakfast vouchers, which was really nice. That was cute. But New York, it does not play. New York wants you to eat at their restaurants. They take microwaves and refrigerators out. That is what I noticed about the rest. Now, maybe not all New York hotels are like that, but I was just taken aback by that because that was like the first. I mean, I guess I went to another New York hotel many years ago, but like, I just was able to pay attention because I was there for several days. But they don't have a fridge. I was like, because I wanted to put some of my drinks in a fridge. Could it do that? No fridge. I don't, I'm not really a crazy microwave girl, but they didn't even have a microwave. I said, so y'all really don't want people. Y'all want people eating out. Real slick, but well played. Well played. Um, but yeah, like New York hotels are very interesting. I'll be back again later in September to let you know what the next hotel I'll be in will be a little bit more upscale. And I'll let you know what that hotel was like. But those rates, though, but the rate, I would say I got a good rate because I did order early, so I couldn't complain. I was really close to everything, so I appreciate the proximity. But the amenities, where were they? Okay, so that's all I have to say about New York in my mind. Like New York was overall fun, had a good time, caught up with some good friends. It's really great to step outside your city sometimes to see how other people are living because you can then reflect on your situation. Because listen, the cost of living in New York is ridiculous, y'all. Okay, it is a lot of crazy stuff going on. And they keep talking about housing scarcity. No, it's just some disgusting developers that are buying up all the property and forcing people to have to spend, thousands upon thousands of dollars to live, have a decent place to live. It's just disgusting. Like the cost of living in New York is why I'm reminded that I will not live in New York. And if I ever did live in New York, I would have to be like a millionaire or something because it would, let me clarify that, a multi-millionaire, because it would just be ridiculous. So yeah, I'm not crazy about New York like that. Just, not New York for that, but I enjoyed being a tourist there. Let me clarify. I enjoyed my tourism experience. But as far as living, baby, y'all got to get it together. So yes. Oh, and I also want to throw this little thing about Broadway. So there's been some drama going on with Funny Girl, the musical, which came back. It was a Barbara Streisand musical, which got her the Tony, which got her an Oscar, and really catapulted Barbara Streisand's career. Well, there was a remake with Bernie Feldstein, who was Beanie Feldstein. I'm sorry, Beanie Feldstein. She was in Impeachment, the FX show, which was incredible. Got Emmy nominations. Well, actually, so for Sarah Paulson for playing Linda Tripp, which we wanted, but Beanie didn't get one, which I'm not too disappointed about it. But anywho, she was the lead role. She is a woman of size. She is Jewish. She's also queer and engaged to another woman, which is incredible. She's talented as hell. And she was the lead role of Franny Bryce. Well, apparently her performance was panned by critics. It really got hardly any nominations. Like, it got snubbed all the way, except for one featured Tony nomination, musical nomination for this black actor who was in the musical. But outside of that, it just got completely snubbed. Critics have hated it. It just hasn't gotten much attention. And as a result, they've been thinking about her replacement, which is with Leah Michele. So Leah Michele will be replacing Beanie very soon. And tickets have skyrocketed. But there's been a lot of controversy about how dirty they did it. Go check out this incredible piece in the Daily Beast about the behind the scenes drama. But all I will say is that Leah Michele is a whole fucking problem. She's going to be at Philly performing at Sea Winery, I believe, this upcoming weekend. Not a fan of her at all. She's been accused of being a racist and being problematic to a lot of black actors on the set of Glee. And she's just weird and just they've called her a diva. Just a lot of things she's done has just been very problematic. But it was the racism for me that got me kind of like, nah. But she's resurrecting herself, clearly, getting this lead role. And, she lost some endorsements when it came out during the Black Lives Matter protest because she was getting called out by several black actors and actresses who've worked with her in the past. I'm not a fan of her. And just this whole situation of her getting it is messy because her agent is the same agent as Beanie. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, this agent, wow. That's why you have to have a good agent. I got 2 good agents, okay? And they would never. But Leah got to sell them tickets now. She better break a leg. I mean, I think she really has always wanted to be in the role. But this is very much giving Glee energy. And even Jane Lynch, who plays Fanny Bryce's mom, Mrs. Bryce in the musical, she's also leaving too with Beanie. And she worked on a set of Glee, so she won't even be nearly a Michelle. So that already tells you what you need to know. And Jane Lynch is also lesbian, so they're both, look, the lesbians stuck together, okay? They said, we got to get away from this crazy woman. So good luck with that show, girl. But just wanted to say I am Team Beanie and I'm Team Fuck Leah Michele. So just want to plug that in. So moving on, getting ready for this new place. Super excited about my new place. We've been doing some preliminary shopping. One of the things that I've done, which you all know is going to be a shocker, for the first time in 12 years, I have bought a television. Yes, we got a TV. And we only got the TV because it was a sale. Because I love a sale. I don't really buy anything originally priced. Watch me backtrack this statement like a couple of minutes, but it's for a good cause. But I got a 65-inch flat screen. I got the one from, I don't really know TVs that well, but I heard this was a really good one. And so I'm really do not know much about TVs, but I was hearing good things about Samsung, and they had a really good sale. And I was just like, if there was ever a time to get a TV, I should get a TV now, because if I don't get it on a sale, I'm not going to be motivated to get it any other time. And I'm dead ass. That was where my head was at. I was like, I need to get a real one. So it's called a Sony OLED, or whatever that is. And it's really pretty and everything. And I didn't know how big a TV, like what size, like because I haven't had a TV in forever, I didn't know what size to get. So the one that felt within the interest of how much I would spend on a TV was the 65-inch one, and that was like decent. And it was like a massive discount for Amazon Prime Day, which I really didn't even partake in, but somehow I fell into the rabbit hole because I was trying to order something else, and I was like, "Oh shit, what the TV's looking like?" And then I saw this one that was just like in my face. So I became a byproduct of just gross capitalism in my face. But I was like, if there was ever time to get TV, the discount was ridiculous. We picked it up, and this is how we knew the TV was too big. Because again, we just wasn't visually thinking about this. We Mr. Johnson has a car. We don't have an SUV. We just have a car, and we it was like, let's go pick it up because I didn't want them to bring it to my place because you know how that is weird. You know, people, Amazon dropping on, let's get it from the store. So we went to Best Buy and we thought we could pick it up and put it in the back seat of some shit. No. I know y'all know. With the boxing, no. And I know some of y'all listening like, what the fuck was you thinking, Ernest? Like, what are you doing, bro? I know. I don't know what I was thinking. This is all new for me. I haven't like gotten a TV in 12 years, so I have no idea of space, time, and length, obviously. So what happened was is that I had to get. Well, we had a storage space. We've been putting some of our wedding gifts and stuff in storage. So we had a storage unit, which was genius because there was no way we was gonna be trying to put that all up in our current place. So because we're trying to get shit out of there, not push it in. So we had a storage space. So we had to put it in an Uber XL. Mr. Johnson drove to the storage unit, get it ready, and I got an Uber XL, got the TV in there. We took it to the storage unit. Woo! Thank goodness we did that. But good God, I'm excited though because this is a big ass TV. So now I'm looking at my mind like my new place. I'm like, okay, like the whole wall is gonna have to be dedicated to this TV. First world problems. I'm not mad at it. One thing I did do is I did buy a mount, and it did find a great place that hangs pictures and mount TVs. Again, my good Judy Geo, okay, hooked me up because I told y'all about Havenly last week. There is a place called and I love this place, and I'm gonna spell it correctly because a lot of you all have been hitting me up telling me, "Hey, thanks for that website," and you all are actually checking out these sites. And I try to be useful to people. I try to support local businesses. So there is this great site that I am in love with that I'm already scheduling and booking to hang pictures for me. So the site is called Thumbtack. ThumbTack.com. Thumbtack. That's what it's called. And you can go to Thumbtack, and basically these people will do the handy service. You can hire local businesses in your area to do services. So they can mount your TV. They can put up pictures for you and do art installations. They can do all that for you. And you pay them, but it's not too expensive. But you can get them to do it like the pros to make sure you don't break your shit. I am not going to play with this TV. I am not about to play with it. I'm not even like, let's see, Mr. John's like to be Mr. Handyman. He's so cute. Like he's like, he puts, just a great man, right? Just a great husband. He is likes to be handy, but there are some things that we cannot be handy about. I was like, we need a professional to mount this. I don't want to see you breaking your back. Not in that way, at least. But like, I was just like, we have to call someone to do it. We cannot try to do this ourselves because if it falls, I'm going to lose it. Even though it was on sale, but seriously, I just, when that Thumbtack professional comes in and mounts it and do all the screws and all the plug and all that, that's how it's going to be done. They will have I don't play with picture framing and hanging up. Little stuff, sure. But this is something where I just need, and so I'm going to hire him to do all of our pictures, do all of our stuff when we move in immediately. I don't want to do it myself. I don't want to even pretend like I know how to use a hammer in that way. I'm going to hire a professional. That's what they're for. Pay people for their services. Let's keep the local economy alive. Just do that. So it's thumbtack.com. If you got a picture or a mount that you want to put up on a wall, call those people. Like, just get people to do it for you. Don't do it yourself. Don't break it. Don't break your TV. Don't break your shit. So that's what I did. I bought the mount. We got the TV. We got everything. We're just gonna let the pros handle it. And this is I don't listen. You may not be in a condo like whether it's a condo or apartment a house, whatever. They do every type of, unit. So hire them, y'all, if you are trying to figure out how to get something up on your wall. Because I can't even pretend that that's my life. I'm just not even going to do it. I'm just not. Mm-mm. I grew up when I was younger because I'm tall. 6 foot club. Where my 6 foot club at? Where my 6 foot and higher club at? So when I was younger, like my mom used to always have me doing it for her. And now I have a brother that's also tall. My other brother Kelby is like is 6 foot tall. We just everybody in our family got height. My little brother, my youngest brother, he is getting up there too. We were born with height. The Owens brothers, we were born with height. So we hang up pictures and stuff. We grew up doing that. What was getting if there was ever a fly or something, killing the flies, killing the spiders. That was what I did growing up. Even when I was at Penn, Amanda, my good friend, I was the savior. If a roach came through one of the dorm rooms or something, I was just the dude to get it. They were all scared. Well, first of all, I don't fuck with mice. I don't deal with mice. Now that I'm dealing with. I'm scared of mice. I'm an elephant when it comes to mice. But roaches, flies, things like that, I never was scared. They were like, "Oh my God, come get it!" She would like. I remember there was time I think she called me or texted me, or I heard a yelp. I don't remember, but I used to come down there like the handyman and would have to kill the roaches for the girls, kill the fly, whatever. That was just listen. That was what I did. But now I'm in a space where I'll hang a couple of things up, put a couple of posters up, but I can't be, trying to be, handyman now, like Build a Bear, or what's that car? I remember the car, Bob the Builder. Like I can't, I'm not Bob the Builder anymore. I have to get somebody to do it because part of it too is that like I want to have even measurements. Like I really want everything to be lined up correctly, and I don't have all those toolkits and stuff. Like going home, it's weird when you go home. Like every time you think you're adulting, your parents always out adult you. Like they have shit that you don't even have. You're like, what the fuck is that? They're like, that's a screwy thing, a screwdriver or whatever it is, a pro bar or whatever. Like I don't know what the hell that is. But yes, I need to get a tool. That's the one thing I did not get. I did not put a toolkit in my list of things to get when I moved in. But never mind. I just realized something. I actually did get that, but I got it from the person who got us this place. But wedding wise, I wasn't thinking of toolkits and things. But anyway, but yes, I did get the TV. So I'm happy about that. The couch and everything. Gonna take my time and wait right before we get closer to the move in because I want that to be directly put into the new place versus having it in storage somewhere. I'm just not even gonna play like that. And then also interior decorating. Getting ready for that layout design so I can start getting that artwork and stuff ready too. So that's down the house on the new crib. Okay, so the shameless purchase I did buy, which I want to reference to, is that I have never in my life ever bought a Teflon bag. Didn't really, I heard about them, never got into the hype, always thought they were sold out too fast, could never get one. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have an announcement to make. I have now 2 Teflon bags. I bought 2 Teflon bags. And it wasn't my choice. It was for research purposes. Inside joke. But like, I had my friend, okay, Amanda was like talking about it on Twitter and I was like, oh, what is this? And I clicked, I heard of it, I knew about it, but I just never like had the urge to get one. And so they had a large one, they had they brought the black color one out. And apparently the black one is really popular. And I've been on this crusade to get new bags. I got a Ted Baker snakeskin bag because I'm trying to rock new bags. I've been a bag person for a long time. I've been a bag lady for a while, but I was always getting like, just the, whatever free giveaway, shopping bags, like the long, takeout bags and stuff, shopper bags, I call them. But like, I never had the tote bags and stuff like that, but I never had like the really designer and fancy ones. And I didn't want to do anything over the top that didn't make sense to, my brain. I need something cool, chic, but nothing too, extra or expensive because it's not that serious to me at least. But Telfar bag, they had a large one that was black. Got that one. Pretty reasonably priced. The designer, of course, is a black queer man who's been doing incredible work to make his stuff accessible and make his stuff stopping price gougers, making it. He wants his consumers to get it. He doesn't allow people to do the massive buying it and reselling it expensive. He shuts that shit down. So that I admire about him. So I got that one, and then I thought I was done, and then later that week, the silver bag came out, and then that one sold out quickly, but I got a medium one. I didn't get the small one because I heard a lot from you all online and also some people I met at events. There's another girl, a woman I know named Amanda, who's an influencer. Another woman that I met at an influencer event. She told me that the small Telfar bags, just like my friend said, were not it because you can't even fit your fucking cell phone in it. And it's really like, I feel like the girls I've seen with the small ones, I've been studying them now because now that I know that this is a thing, what I've seen is that girls who buy the small Telfar bags, they put the cell phones in their back pocket and they just put lipstick or a small mirror and like shit like that in the bag. If I can't put my cell phone in the bag, I have no use for it. No shade. If I can't put my cell phone charger in the bag, if I can't, I'm a little extra. If I can't put my laptop in the bag, I'm not carrying it. So the medium bag is the bag. Like, get the medium one. Go or get the large one. So I got the large one to carry with me when I want to do travel. When I want to be a little extra and I'm traveling, like I'm going to go vacation to Ocean Atlantic City in August. Yes, I can't wait. We're booking that right now. And I want to be cute and I want to carry a couple of things. I want to use that bag to carry stuff in. But my day-to-day is about to be that cute metallically silver medium bag. And I'm going to be rocking that. And I'm going to be going out rocking that in the streets. So that's going to be my daily bag. And another one's going to be for my, travel bag. And I'm going to be probably rocking that. I'm going to hopefully try to rock it to some of these conventions as well, the large black bag. So that's where my mood is at right now. That's where my head is at. That's going to be my carry-on. I think that's what people, fashion-wise, I'm liking it. They if you are interested in those bags, go to the website, study the dates. The moment they drop, they normally drop at like 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but be ready to get them. I know that today or like on a Monday, like the 18th or whatever, they're selling the corned beef red bag, which is basically a salmon pink version of that bag. I mean, I like pink, but I don't need the pink bag. But one of my good friends, Laura, I think she's going to jump and get one because we're going to have a Telfar summer. So like all of my Telfar bag girls, if y'all want to just be going to events rocking the bags, let's do it. But yes, super excited, supporting a black designer, supporting a black queer designer. I mean, while we could throw our money at Louis Vuitton and Gucci and all these people all the time, let's support black designers. Let's support queer designers. Let's support people doing some dope shit. So I felt like, yes, I'm going to pay the full price. I don't want to sell. The bags are like around like $200, $100. If you can do it, do it. So that's what I'm doing. Love the bags. Can't wait for them. Can't wait to rock them in public. Philly Mag had an incredible influencer party that I went to that I'm super excited about. This is the longest updates ever, but see, I told y'all we was catching up, so y'all have been missing me. It's been 2 weeks, so I know y'all in for a bumpy ride. We're already like in an hour of this show, but like I said, I told y'all that we were going to be having a lot to catch up on. Philly Mag influencer party was dope. You all saw the pictures. 3/4 of the Lit Brothers were there. Josh, Gio, we got together. Josh East Philly, Gio's Table, Instagram. We all got together, party like rock stars. Food was incredible. Sponsored by Bacardi. Ocean was a sponsor in the house. There was Grey Goose. There was Saint Germain. I walked away with a Saint Germain bottle because the bitch is bad. Flowers galore. Had a great time that Thursday night. You all saw my late night rendezvous. I went to RD Bar, which is a Fishtail, which is an incredible bar. Amanda, we gotta go. It's the old Root, for those who remember that restaurant called Root that was there, that was not there that long. It is in the heart of Northern Liberties. We gotta go, girl. It is popping. The bar is great drinks, great people. Shout to that bartender Solomon. You were dope. Because I was at the table, they brought a bottle for the crew. So, we just got bottles, because I run this, that's where the I run this town came from. My friends, they made that joke. George was right next to me. Jill was hilarious. He's like I told my friend he's a bad bitch and he runs this city. So that's where that came from. But they came with a bottle for the group, Influencer Life. Now, I have some tea because I got a little bit of tea that I had heard at the event. but got it for the horse's mouth. So you know that event that I was talking about the popular apartments that had that wild party with all those people and all that going on? Well, there is scandal. So a group of people were given these VIP wristbands to go to the pool for the whole summer until September 22nd. They were given these wristbands because remember, everybody kept asking about that pool. Well, that pool is residence property. It's a part of the popular apartments for residents. But they had a special situation where there was somebody who was an influencer that lived there that was pushing this event and gave these people like gold wristbands to be able to go to the pool party. Well, there were some people who went this week and basically were told that decision was canceled, and that was canceled by the Post brothers, who owns the property. Alex Holly and one of her friends went there, and they were there, had a good time, and were basically told this is the last time that they could go to that pool because they don't live there. We don't live there. None of us do. But we were at that party, and so they just abruptly canceled it for all those influencers and all those other people that were guests. I was like, and y'all already know my last episode. So if you go watch the finale about the rest of the popular apartment situation with all that, go listen to the finale of season 2. But for all the people that's been following this podcast and then got caught up, because I saw y'all was getting caught up on the episodes. Listen, baby. I told y'all. So that was funny. So this has been like literally the fucking like summer of conventions. Everybody's coming back with conventions. NAACP convention, the AKA just had a convention, the Lynx had a convention a couple of weeks ago. Madam VP Kamala Harris has been making her stops all over the city, all over the region. She was at the NAACP convention, the AKA convention. The Zetas are having a convention in Philadelphia in a couple of days. New Leaders Council is having a convention. As you know, I'm the host. I'm super excited about that, by the way. I can't wait. It's days away. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of people. So it's going to be a good time. And of course, the National Association of Black Journalists Convention is collaborating with the National Association of Hispanic Journalists to do their convention in Las Vegas, which is the first week of August. I am super excited about that. My body's ready, even though it just seems to be a lot of misorganization. I mean, at this point, there should be a schedule out. There should be a schedule of like events. You can't have a convention without scheduling something. You can't. You cannot have a convention without scheduling something. Like, where are the schedules? Why aren't people knowing what's going on? So they put out like a display schedule, and I was kind of like, display, like a preview schedule, and I was like, sure, Jan, okay, preview schedule, I guess. I'm just like, what's going on? Why do we have to have a preview schedule? Why do we even have to play those type of games? Either you got your shit together or you don't. Period. It's giving confusion. It's giving Fire Festival, but I digress. But I'm hoping the best. I hope the convention goes well. I mean, hell, I'm there. I hope it does. I'm going to be at the Caesar's Palace. So, it's going to be the whole crew. Sharon, all of most of my executive board, Mr. Johnson, my mom's coming. She's not coming for the convention. She loves Vegas. So, like, my family is, like, coming. And my father-in-law lives in Vegas, as you all know. So it's like a family affair and then also a little bit of convention. But the one good thing I would say, I do want to say this, is that I got reservations for Jose Andres' Bazaar Meats, which I wanted to go the last time I was in Vegas, and I'm decided I can go now. And my folks and I finally got reservations at Hell's Kitchen in Vegas. Yes, Chef Gordon Ramsay, the risotto, the beef Wellington. Like, we're doing the tasting menu. And I want to try this beef Wellington, and I want to try this damn risotto that everybody's been talking about. Like, I used to watch Hell's Kitchen when I was younger. That used to be the shit I used to grow up on. I've been hearing about this beef Wellington. I've been hearing about this risotto for years. It's time to try it. And I will let you know if it's worth the hype, y'all, But Hell's Kitchen, we're going. So I got two big restaurants I've always wanted to go to in Vegas off of my list. I need to see it to believe it. I'm excited about this tasting menu at Bazaar Meats in Vegas. I'm super excited about Hell's Kitchen. We pulled it off. Now, mind you, we have to get late as reservations. All of our reservations are at 11 p.m. But look, we had to do what we had to do because otherwise we would have not been able to go anywhere. So we're excited about Hell's Kitchen and we're excited about Bazaar Meats. And we went to Cut by Wolfgang Puck, which last time, which was phenomenal. And we're looking forward to what else is going on in Vegas. But the second time around, I've gone to Vegas twice in a year. I like that. I like it. I like them in a city that I've already been to, so I can, maximize the real deals. So that is that. But otherwise, things have been going good. I think this week will, the news about there will be some book news coming. That's all I'll say. I think that the next episode 2 of season 3, I think the update I want to give you all about the book, which is good news. I think by then I can finally announce it. I'm hoping. Y'all, I'm hoping. Because the delay, okay? I've been wanting to break this news, but you got to go through the paperwork. You got to go through some of the deals. You got to get everything iron tight, But we're getting there. It's pretty much there. I really hope it would be ready. I just thought the news was going to be out by the season 3 premiere. But as you can see throughout this show, it is a process. And I'm learning as someone who is used to running every aspect of my career solely that I'm learning the process of delegating and working with my team and working with my agent and my publicist and all these people. Like I'm working with everybody and everybody's working with me and they're doing an incredible job. And so I'm just adapting and getting used to recognizing hey, this needs to be dotted and this needs to be, T, because we're dealing with bigger things and bigger money and bigger things. And so everything has to be all the way. And so I've been practicing at this summit the art of patience in that regard, and in anticipation, of course, of the fans, of you all, of even myself. But I've embraced that though because it's important to have everything set, everything booked, everything planned, everything to the T, because because once you put it out there, you don't want to go back, or you don't want to have to change something or tweak something or something. And I've always been like that throughout my entire career. But even at this level, it's important to make sure because I've seen other people in other spaces jump those guns and then something else shifts and then they have to go back and shift it. And it's like, damn, was anybody in the background? So I've realized that it's best to have total certainty than have a guarantee. Total certainty over a guarantee. That's my motto this summer. So stay tuned, but All right, that is the update on me. Now to the news. These January 6th hearings have been going on. As you all know, I was talking about the Cassidy Hutchinson situation. There's been more news coming out of these hearings lately. I mean, there's been the insurrectionists. Some of these guys have come and testified. Who I don't really give a fuck. Honestly, the big thing to come out is that Trump has been allegedly tampering with witnesses. Trump's people have been allegedly intimidating, it appears to be, talking to witnesses, making phone calls to certain people who might be testifying or working with the January 6th commission. And am I surprised? No, because that's a thug. That's a thug. He's a thug. Okay, he is a thug. He is going to do what he's going to do. He is a bona fide gangster. He did this shit after Cassidy Hutchinson, allegedly, right? He is they are reporting the information. Liz Cheney says she's reporting information to the DOJ, the Department of Justice, so they can review this. I'm like, okay, cool. Okay. Liz is doing what she's doing. But, my issue with Liz is is that every time you think Liz is special, then you turn around and you realize Liz is still out here talking dumb shit about women's right to choose and abortions, and it's just like, girl, you every this is that's why I mean I don't. The thing about them is that Republicans only have give a fuck when it deals with something they don't like. So all of a sudden, she can agree that Trump is a problem because now Trump doesn't come for her. But she's going to still hold on to her other crazy conservative viewpoints because she wants to, still engage a base that does not like her. I mean, she's literally going to most likely lose her seat. She's fighting to keep her seat, and it looks like she's going to lose it. And quite frankly, I mean, listen, you lay down with dogs, you catch fleas. I mean, good for you doing this commission, but honestly, let's be real. Look at her family. Look at her background. I mean, these are war criminals at the highest T. Like, she's been up in D.C. for years. She knows where the bodies are buried. And honestly, no. I just no, 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 nope, no. I'll just leave it at that on her. Ivana Trump, who was Trump's ex-wife, not the current wife, Melania, the previous wife, Ivana, who is the mother of Ivanka Trump and the other Trump kids at that time. Not Tiffany, because he also had a baby with Maribel Marbles, or whatever her name is. They weren't married though, but Tiffany Trump is not Ivana Trump's child. But Ivanka, the rest of those kids, those are with her. She was the main wife that rode it with him when he was building that empire of his. She was the first wife. She's passed away, and so apparently I guess New York was saying that we're not going to do any questioning of the parent while they grieve the children and then during that time. I get it, right? Decorum. But Trump was at a rally in Arizona, like on that Saturday, and was still doing what he was doing. So much for mourning and grieving that you still had time to go to a rally. Whatever. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Okay, the president and vice president, respectfully. They're not popular right now. The polls are showing they're not popular. Joe Biden has like a 33% approval rating. Most of the country, I want to say around 87% of the country, do not think we're heading in the right direction. To be very clear, most of the country, the Republicans are not fans of Biden. I mean, of Trump. Most of them would like the party to go in a different direction for the 2024 presidential election, because right now the Republican Party has been touting Trump as the front runner or the guy to come back again. But it seems like most of the party, or at least the voters or the people being polled, are pretty much wanting them to go in a different direction. People are suggesting that other alternative could be possibly Ron DeSantis. Some people have even whispered Mike Pence. I hope not. But Ron DeSantis, oh my God, no. But there's a lot of interest for another Republican face. But even within the Democratic Party, the funny part is that the poll is weird, because even though so many people are not in favor of Biden's performance right now, most of them said that come push to shove, if they got to vote for Biden again, they will. So the poll is interesting in that regard. But I think one of the interesting things is that they would prefer another option, though. That at the end of the day, they would prefer somebody else. But at the end of the day, they recognize that if they have to go vote for Biden again, they will. I'm so mixed on this right now. It's complicated because history tells us that challenging Democrats, challenging an incumbent doing a primary for an incumbent just does not spell unity, and it does not spell that could lead to a re-election for the party. I don't know. We haven't really seen anything like that, and it just looks like division, right? Like when Trump ran for re-election, even though he sucked, they didn't challenge him, even they could have challenged him. They just let him rock. He lost, as he should have, but I don't know. I don't necessarily know. I don't know who would be the leader. I think that's the problem. Like, there's a hard time, because it can't be Bernie Sanders again. Sorry, I did vote for Bernie in the primaries last cycle, but I no, Bernie has done this enough. Hillary doesn't have any interest in. No, that's the problem. It would have to be someone new. And I was thinking to myself, like, I mean, we don't have that right now, but we would need like an Obama type of candidate because I remember '08. I was too young to vote in '08 because I was 17. But I remember '08, and I remember everybody thought it was going to be Hillary, right? Nutter, everybody endorsed Hillary. Hillary looked like she was the front runner for that win. And Obama just came out of the sky in a way and just, you know, just had a moment and just kind of just took it over. And we would need a candidate that was that charismatic and that transformational to enter in and just bring that energy. I don't see that candidate right now. I don't see that candidate right now. I don't see them right now. I think a lot has gone on and a lot of people are scared. I mean, it can't be Kamala, in my opinion. I just don't see Kamala taking it up because again, and people are just not enthusiastic about Kamala like that either. It's just not a lot of enthusiasm for our current administration because I think people are saying, and this is what I'm, it's so funny. Like when I was dealing with the whole Fetterman and Conor Lamb debates, and y'all remember that period, man. We reigned supreme in season 2. We had the last laugh, didn't we? Didn't we? Ha ha ha! But what I learned in that process is that there are some dogmatic, obsessed people that think that their obsession with American politics or with the party is resonating with everybody else. It doesn't actually. It doesn't. Most Americans are not tapped in like that. They're too busy working, trying to keep a house, trying to afford a house, trying to keep a job, trying to get higher pay, trying to be able to have safe medical procedures that it won't be stripped away from them. Like that's what most Americans are worried about. They're not caught up in the day-to-day blow to blow. I am because I'm a fucking journalist. But let me tell you something. Mr. Johnson, he knows a lot more because he's married to a journalist. But like most people are not wrapped up in the day-to-day stupidity of it all. They're really caught up in the big blowbacks, like gas prices going up, like, abortion rights being snatched away, these are issues, student loan debt, all of these other rising cost issues. That's what most Americans are talking about or experiencing or speaking about. That's the concern. When you're looking at issues, some of these people are so caught up in the day-to-day Trump shit and it's sadly we've been trumped the fuck out. A lot of people are trumped the fuck out. Yes, they're watching the hearings. The ratings have been pretty good, but it's not amounting to the energy that we had maybe 2 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. A lot has changed. A lot has changed. And I think people have gotten worn out and have gotten tired. And a lot of people are feeling a little apathetic. And I have to acknowledge that. It's frustrating to hear because I do understand that we need to vote, right? We need to have those things. But I'm also holding space and empathy for people who right now understand what they got to do in November. But I can understand if they just feel like they're not being heard. Because I do feel like to a certain extent this administration does not seem to really be exercising the full extent of their power. Or when they do so after more yelling and more public pressure. And it shouldn't be this difficult. It shouldn't be this hard. And it's getting very worrisome. I mean, Biden was at a press conference, and he had a stance that he was going to release, prisoners who were arrested over marijuana charges, and he was going to free them. And someone brought that back up to him, and he just basically said, it was a very like passive statement that I was kind of like, wait, what? Like this is the best use of your platform. This is the best use. So one of the things that he said, mm, 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 mm. Oh wow. I'm looking at some juicy tea. Oh, a lot is going on today. So what happened was that the reporter said to him, President Biden, will you be honoring your campaign pledge to release all of the marijuana inmates in prison? And Biden said simply, I don't think anyone should be in prison for the use of marijuana. But you didn't answer the question, though. And so it's stuff like that that really concerns me, that we have these problems and this is the response. That there are thousands upon thousands of innocent, probably mostly black and brown Americans that are behind bars. And you said that you want to release them, and you're just like talking about what you agree with, but you haven't kept that pledge you made. So there's a lot of promises that have not been kept. And the shit is becoming infuriating and frustrating, and something's got to give. Something's got to give, because these midterms might be that wake up call for some people who think this is a joke, because we're 2 years away from the next election. Like, this presidential election is coming fast. Like, we're going through the years, baby. It's the roaring 20s. So we'll see. As far as Fetterman and Dr. Oz go, this race has been interesting. Fetterman has been taking a break, but he's about to get back on the campaign trail physically. But he's been guarding a reputation right now as being a shit poster on Dr. Oz, and it's been working. Social media, the viralness, the posts have gone on Instagram. I mean, he's hilarious. Fetterman's team is really creating the content, and the campaign seems to be going strong. He's raising millions and millions of dollars. He outpaced and out fundraised Dr. Oz again. Fetterman commercials are still running on TV. Dr. Oz has not had any commercials on TV since May, I believe, since the primary. And it's now about to be August, and there's been no ads from Dr. Oz's camp. And that's a showing of how weak the funding and finances for this campaign has been. There's been a really great campaign talking about how Dr. Oz is a carpetbagger, basically. That he really lives in Jersey, and he pretty much moved in Pennsylvania for occupancy to qualify to run for Senate. And there's been a lot of jokes about it. And the jokes are hitting a nerve in the media. The View talked about it. A couple of other outlets have been talking about it. But Snooki made a joke. The Fetterman campaign got Snooki from Jersey Shore to basically make a joke about how he should come back to Jersey. I mean, it's been a lot of conversations about his residency, and it's just a lot going on there with him. One thing I'm going to say real quick, though, is lay off for Oprah or Dr. Oz. Don't go that route. I think it's annoying to me how everyone wants to blame her for giving a platform to Dr. Oz. And I really want to be clear that clearly Dr. Oz has done a 180 and had flip-flopped on his positions. And it's been clear that the stances that Dr. Oz took many years ago are not the stances he takes today. I mean, this is a man that's now talking shit about Bernie Sanders, but had Bernie Sanders on his show a couple of years back. Like, this is not the same Dr. Oz. And to try to pit a black woman in a position of accountability for what one white man has decided to do with his bigotry, his ignorance, is not her fault. And here's the issue. Let's not go there. There are a lot of people that in the industry have platformed people. Yeah, BT, are we gonna blame BT and folks for platforming R. Kelly? Like, we didn't know R. Kelly was gonna turn into a monster. Now, I grew up knowing, and some people did know, okay? But we're not out here blaming every artist who's done a song with R. Kelly. Some of these people should have not done a song with him for a while. But we're not shaming them and canceling them or coming for them or doing whatever. So I just think people do change. Are we going to blame NBC for the Apprentice show? Are we going to blame, it's just like, we can't, that's just a stupid thing. Like, if Dr. Oz been like this from day one and Oprah was platforming him, which she never would have, then I can see the critique. But he's long been out of her orbit, and he's clearly have evolved into something that is nothing like what Oprah had encouraged or endorsed or supported. So let's lay off Oprah. Leave her alone on that. If it's just stupid. It's a stupid conversation. And then there's people that's like, oh, she should speak about it. I mean, maybe she will. Who knows? But like, why do we always do this where we go to black people always as the ones to be accountable for white people's mess? No, that motherfucker needs to be accountable for himself. The Republican Party needs to be accountable for him. Everybody else who is endorsing him, supporting him, and backing him right now should be accountable for him. Period. I think about that all the time. I've had some interesting situations lately where there are people, white people, who overstep. White people overstepping. It's a thing. You know what I always talk about it. White people are always overstepping. And they got in my comments about some. Oh, there's this issue that I think you should speak on, or I'm surprised you haven't said this. And it's like, what the fuck do you think this is? This is my shit. This is my platform. I choose what I choose to talk about. And I don't need anybody telling me what I should talk about. That's when you overstep. Trust me, black people like me who are in positions like this are very self aware of a lot of things that we don't discuss on our platforms because sometimes it can cause problems with our safety. It can pose legal problems. It can cause a lot of other things that at the end of the day, what you're doing in my DMs as a white person, you won't do for me out here in these streets if I have to stick my neck out. Black people like myself in these positions have to be calculated. We have to do our research. We have to be very measured. We have to be very disciplined. We have to understand our target. We have to be very measured. Because when the shit hits the fan, it's going to be us that's going to be accountable for it, right? It's not going to be any of these people that's egging on stuff or sending stuff to us or telling us to get into it. And so white people that overstep, stop overstepping. What you could do is ask your white media folks why they're not covering it. Yeah, ask them and talk to them, but stop berating black journalists about what they should or shouldn't be talking about or what their following is, whatever. Don't do that. Don't do it. And stop that, the shaming and the tagging and asking people to do this and do that. Like, cut it out. Cut it out. It's just, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. You don't tell a black person, you don't overstep and tell a black person what they should be doing, especially when it comes to stuff in their communities. Because at the end of the day, we're black till the day we die. And we're going to have to be fighting mountains and issues for the rest of our life. And if some of us decide to say, this is the time I'm going to step back, respect that. You have no other choice but to acknowledge that. But for the people out here that like to try to tell people what they should do, listen, I tell people like this. I'm only one person. I am not God. I am not a superhero force. I cover what I can. I talk about what I can. I talk about what I know about. And I don't. I will tell you this much. There are some movements and some stuff in this town that are being led by people that are not accountable, that are not responsible, that are not doing what needs to be done, that are concerning. And I stay out of situations based on who's involved in it because I might think that some information may not be all the way honest and truthful. I'm not talking about one specific event or another, but there's a reason why some people might choose to step out of something, and maybe they don't want to broadcast the drama because that doesn't help the cause, right? But sometimes you just may make the decision, hey, I'm going to take a step away from that. But stop acting like you're telling us anything we don't know, Christopher Columbus or Christina Columbus, because there's a lot of Christina Columbuses out there. Don't sit up here thinking that you're gonna tell me what I should or shouldn't be doing. Fuck out of here. Sometimes you gotta let these people know, because there's some people that just act like black people like me are robots, and that we're just supposed to just be out here providing all the answers for them. No white person that's concerned, you go get your ass out there, use your profile, use your privilege. This one white woman told me that she said to me in my DM, said, I know I'm a white woman with the privileges, but blah blah blah. Wait, so you just gonna say it casually like that? I'm a white woman with all the privileges, but blah. Like you're just gonna dismiss me telling you to fall the fuck back? Please, please. So excuse me for not responding to comments. Sometimes I don't respond to comments when they frame themselves that way. And sometimes I might have some time and I might feel the need to check a person every blue moon. But as time go past, I just be blocking and deleting, okay? I just be like, block, delete, next case. I just have to do it because people will try to run you when you need to remind them who's boss. Period. Speaking about Oz and Fetterman, Dr. Oz made the dumb decision to come to Philadelphia to go to Pat's and Geno's, which are like the most mid cheesesteaks in Philadelphia. You're better off going to to be clear, Geno's is horrible. Pat's and Geno's, he went to Pat's and Geno's. Pat's, it's not bad. I mean, if you was going to ask me Pat's or Geno's, I'm going to be clear with you. Pat's over Geno's every day. But to be clear, it doesn't mean Pat's is the best in town. But Pat's is better than Geno's. There's really no war there. Pat's is better than Geno's. But, I mean, I'm really comparing like Bud Light to Miller Lite. Like that's that's the comparison. If you're a girl who likes to drink really good quality beer, it's like comparing Bud Light to Miller Lite. So if you get that metaphor, you understand what I'm saying here. Um, that being said, he went to Geno's. Geno's, the owner, has passed away. Of course, the son owns it, and the son's name is Gino. Gino is a gay white man. He is a generational owner of Geno's cheesesteaks, or Geno's steaks. Many years ago, when I was new to Philadelphia, new to the Philly scene at large, I went to Geno's. I knew Gino. And I used to, had the cheesesteak. It was a Philly experience. But through time, I've gotten educated, of course, clearly on the history of Geno's and the South Philly institution that it is, and the history of racism with the sign and some of the other problems with the Confederate flag on the motorcycle inside the little motor shop that's right across the street. There's like a lot of problems with Geno's, right? The institution. I'm not talking about the individual here, but the crazy part is that Oz comes, he takes a picture with him. There's a picture of a ugly, disgusting cheesesteak. The cheesesteak doesn't have whiz. It looks like it has Swiss, but it just looks very bad. It just does not look like a good cheesesteak. He has it half open where you can see. So Oz takes the picture with Gino and he shares it on his Twitter. And I'm sitting here looking like, so it's giving endorsement. It's giving, why the fuck are you even taking a picture with him? Now, let me be clear. If they want to serve Oz a cheesesteak because they have to serve people, whatever is fine. But to take the picture with him and pose with him with the cheesesteak, when you know what his stances are, it's telling us exactly how you feel. This is like cancel culture 101. I'm writing a book on this shit, for crying out loud. This is trash. So I mean, I wasn't going to Geno's already, but I'm never going to Geno's again. Period. So it's a wrap. It's a no for me. It's the picture for me. It's the complicity for me. This is what I mean when I say white gay men struggle with being in solidarity with the community. It's shit like that. Like, there's no, like, how do you support? That's where we are right now, right? This is the shit I'm talking about. It just makes no sense. Dr. Oz does not have your best interest at heart. You are a gay white man. He's literally aligning himself with Supreme Court nominees that plan to take back marriage equality. And maybe because, well, I don't know if he's married. I don't know if he is or isn't, but you're going to lose your rights, dog. Like, what the hell are you doing? But they think they're special because they're rich, right? Rich white gay men often think they're above the law, above everybody else in accountability. So there you have that. Yeah, so Fetterman, keep doing what you're doing. Take Oz out. Whoop his ass at the polls. Please, 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 please. And I'm going to make this little plug real quick because people have been asking about this and I just want to get this out the way. So everybody's been talking about the Shapiro Austin Davis campaign. Austin Davis, there were tweets that Austin Davis tweeted out when he was like 22 years old. Okay, like over 10 years ago. And these tweets have come out. They were like, just not the best tweets. Some of them came off as a little sexist at the time. Some of them were just like poor taste. This tweet's written in poor taste in general. And they've been pushed out by people connected to Doug Mastroni's campaign. So these conservative Republicans have put it out. To be, Austin is just very straight up. He apologizes. He said, that clearly he's evolved on those issues. That's not the guy he is today. And that's it. That's it. My thing here is that he was 22 years old. They're tweets. They're not laws. They're not policies. He's apologized. Clearly, the 10 years has passed. He's evolved as a person on what they are. I didn't find them personally to be the worst things ever. I could see them being cringy, but who the fuck was not cringy in some regard? I've understood that cishet men are very not woke to mostly anything, but he has evolved tremendously, and he's clearly, it's a moot point. I just don't think that with the stakes being that high, I just don't think this is a big damn deal. I'm just being frank. He's apologized. He was 22. He was elected official. His laws, policies do not reflect those viewpoints today. I mean, compared to tweets that I've seen other people have put out in the world, they're not really that asinine compared, but I get it. I get people could be offended. So I'm not trying to downplay people being offended, but I'm just saying that there's just, in a larger scheme of things, what the fuck do y'all want? I just do. If you're a progressive or you're somebody who's liberal, do you want him to not run? I mean, do you, in the vetting process, this could have came up when he ran. This could have been a part of the vetting process better, but we're here. He's a nominee. Y'all have accepted far fucking worse from the likes of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And I'm going to stick to that. And I'm going to rock with that. And to be quite honest, his beliefs does not shape those policies. And quite frankly, look at who it came from. It's being pushed by Republicans. Progressives and others are not bashing him on the head. It's them trying to just create division and also voter suppression and disinterest and, distract from the real issues at stake. There's far more issues on the ground. I'm all for a man stepping up, acknowledging he's wrong, apologizing, and not repeating the same problems, and have shown a decade worth of growth. I think that's how I feel about it. And that's how I feel. And if you read my book on cancel culture, you'll know a little bit more about how I feel about stuff like that. But to say that ought to be said, like, that's it. That's all I got to say on it. Like, I'm not leading a crusade. I know Austin. I know the new Austin. I know the Austin who is where he's at today, the 32-year-old black man who is pushing for the issues, that will be a great lieutenant governor, that is got the support of a very diverse coalition of people. And he's going to win in November. He's going to make history. And he's going to continue to be better than anything that was done when he was 22 years old, serving as an intern. Okay? Next case. So, this is like the centerpiece of this podcast episode's conversation. The past 2 weeks since I've been on break, there's been a big conversation around gun violence in Philly. There's been a real, huge, massive gun violence hysteria. As you all know, I've been really pissed on Instagram. I've been talking about this Parkway shooting that happened during the Wild Wild Welcome America Festival, the shooting incident. I really have a hard time calling it a shooting. I have to call it a shooting incident because if I say shooting, it sounds like someone was deliberately shot at directly, but it seems to be a situation that, well, let me just break it down. So on July 4th, as you all know, there was the Wild Wild Welcome America concert. Jason Derulo was performing. Of course, I did not go. And that earlier that day, there was in Highland near Chicago in Illinois, there was a mass shooting event that killed some innocent people, including some kids. Several fatalities over there. And that was at the beginning of the 4th of July. Now, for this event in the Parkway in Philadelphia, that event was near Chicago, Illinois. That mass shooting was a real mass shooting. It was terrible. Let's fast forward to earlier in Philly. Police were all over the Parkway trying to ensure people's public safety. So that's what they've been paid to do. There were bullets that hit and injured 2 officers. One hit on the head, the other one got hit somewhere else. The bullet landed in the hat, they said, fell into the hat, which was close to the head enough that could have, if the hat wasn't there, they could have died, but they said the hat saved the bullet or something of that nature. The rounds were shot, and there's just a lot of questions about how the police went about discussing this. So, in the midst of this, Mayor Jim Kenney said that, well, let me clarify. When this injury happened, and the 2 cops got shot got hit by these bullets, which now we're coming to believe there was no active shooter on the ground, that it was a situation where allegedly there was some celebratory gunfire, that this looked like a result of some celebratory July 4th gunfire, and that it looked like the bullets could have flew as far as a mile away. So that would have been away from the actual event itself. Like basically the shooting did not happen on the Parkway in the concert or during the show. But at that time, people did not know. And when the word was that an officer got hit or something of sorts, the police kind of really, ushered in chaos. People was running for their lives and fireworks were playing. And mind you, these injuries to the police happened before the fireworks actually took place. But people was hearing about this and they were signaled to leave the premises and everybody took off just running. And folks were falling on the floor. There was all kind of, fear and panic and it was just chaos at the parkway. And people were like literally hiding for shelter and all this fear and all these conversations and people was acting like they were scared for their life. It was just a massive freak panic attack. And the crazy part is we find out is that there were no active shooter at the parkway because apparently people in order to get in had to go through metal detectors and be padded. So that was whatever. And now it's looking more and more like this was just somebody who was shooting fireworks far away and these bullets landed. They have not found the person who shot the celebratory gunfire because of course they was not going to. This was not the first time this happened to Parkwood before, but because two police got injured, this has become a very politicized situation. I mean, there's city council members out here talking about stop and frisk and entertaining us to go back to the dark ages behind this shit. All types of massive hysteria. The mayor, a lot of it was sidetracked, however, the hysteria, because the mayor had said that he cannot wait till his term is over, which was a very pathetic, fucked up statement to make. Very just a dereliction of your responsibility and your leadership. And of course, city council members, many of whom have interest in running for mayor, have definitely piled on him. So council member Derek Green has called for his resignation. Cheryl Parker said that his comments were asinine and said that she called him and told him, but she did not call for his resignation. Of course not, because he gave 6 figures to her campaign a couple of years ago. And she's a part of the North West Coalition. Who else? Rebecca Reinhardt called the mayor out. She was the first to call him out. Helen Gim told him to put on his big boy pants, whatever that means. And other people joined him. Oh, Alan Dom said that he should resign. And these are all people, mind you, have interest in running for mayor. So it's been politicized a lot of chitter chatter, a lot of fuss, a lot of mayoral shit. That's going on. So then on the other end of the situation, because, the shit is wild. On the other end of this spectrum, we have this conversation about the incident itself and the policing and all of that. The FOP is giving out $20,000 rewards for any information. First of all, there will be any information. They will not find the person. There's been, they've kind of buried it in the news lately because the moment it was happening, they had one of the officers that was hit, this black officer on Good Morning, A Good Day Philadelphia. And, all these conversations and these sympathy notes and and it's just like, okay, a lot of propaganda, I'll just say, that was people using this to justify problematic behavior, like stop and frisk, and we can't have more events. We don't feel safe, and we can't have these community gatherings anymore. So, like, council member Cindy Baz canceled her summer series event around the Northwest, talking about she had to cancel because she couldn't ensure that everybody would be safe at the event. First of all, let's be clear. You cannot ensure that everybody will be safe at any event, any public event. Let's be very clear. Heaven forbids, but a gunman can walk into Liberty Place and shoot up Liberty Place. They may not make it too far, but any public event, somebody could walk in and shoot someone or do something heinous. They could just walk into a restaurant and shoot. They could, there's a situation that just happened not too long ago. A gunman opened fire inside of a North Carolina comedy club after comedian Craig Robinson was set to take the stage. Now, he was in a green room when he was told to flee the scene. But, come on, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Come on, y'all. What are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? So, that's the problem that we're dealing with, is that kind of behavior where we're seeing people use these moments to create illogical police states, because that's what they're trying to do. I have a conspiracy that they're trying to really turn Philadelphia into a police state by doing the bare minimum, by throwing their hands up, and by basically justifying police overspending. Because I'm sitting here thinking to myself, Cindy, why would you like stop a community event because you're claiming you can't ensure safety? I'm sorry, you're a sitting city councilwoman. You don't have the level of resources, influences to guarantee safety for your event. So she's not the only one. Anton Moore, who is not an elected official, he canceled his event in South Philly, which was a union and community block party, due to the concerns about public safety. Again, I have to call bullshit on this. Jabari Jones, who is at the West Philly corridor, in West Philadelphia, also canceled the West Fest that was supposed to take place because of this concern about public safety. I just gotta say that this is bullshit. This is bullshit. I'm calling it. Because here's the issue. Because I've been holding this, y'all, for the past several days and weeks. I've been hearing this news about all these closings. First of all, it's bullshit. Philadelphia has always had gun violence issues for a while, right? If gunfire was gonna pop off, it was gonna pop off. Whether at a funeral procession or something else. Canceling events, yelling that they can't ensure safety is the most cowardly thing to do in a moment of crisis. Because what you're doing is, number one, you're letting the bad guys win. You're creating hysteria. You're creating fear. And you're setting a bad precedent for a lack of power that can be yielded by elected officials. So here's what I know. If a community said they were afraid that there would not be safety at a community gathering event that is supposed to help bring out joy, peace, prosperity, and community interaction, which is crucial to keeping the community safe and keeping the community, festive and the morale high, because if a community has low morale, crime, I would argue, persists. Duh. But if you was to do that event, if you was to do that, right, elected official that wants to get the stuff done and save it, right, what they would do is they would step in and say, hold up, we can't cancel the West Fest. If I was council member Jamie Gauthier, who clearly hates my guts, whatever, fuck it. My thing is, if you feel some type of way and you really care about these issues, my whole thing is, what would you be doing to utilize your office to make sure that you guarantee that this event happens for the community? Because now the community is suffering. Kenyatta Johnson, Councilmember Kenyatta Johnson. I know you got some legal stuff you're worried about. How come you couldn't use your resources to make sure that Unity Community event could happen? Because I don't understand why just simply saying, I mean, we're still going to have Made in Motherfucking America the Parkway, right? Right? The Oval PHL right there on Parkway, that huge park, they're still having their shit, right? The white neighborhoods are still having their shit. South Philly still had their German Fest, their shit, right? All these other communities are still having their events, right? Outdoor events. We just had Pride right in Center City, right? We've been having large events, and guess what? No bullets have been popping off at those events. But we're over here freaking out, right? Over in these black neighborhoods. So black neighborhoods have to be penalized and suffer for shit going on in other areas. And even if shit is going on in their own areas, they still keep it moving. You know why? Because they get the security to do what they got to do. I just think it's funny because y'all say that, I mean, if we're not fucking with the police, we're not fucking with the police. If y'all fucking with the police and y'all about to give them all this money, I mean, the police budget is now close to $800 million now. They took it from the early 720s to now close to $800 million. Okay? They've increased the budget. So what I have heard on the low, allegedly, is that these police officers want overtime for doing these events. And the overtime pay expenses, they are not pulling out of the police department budget. They're pulling out of the communities or the groups or the offices that fund them. So they will be expected to pay the overtime for these officers. I'm fucking confused. You mean to tell me that if I had a protest, right, and I wanted to have a protest, I could guarantee more police to ensure nothing pops off at a protest than if I was somebody trying to have a community social gathering? There are no police for that, but there's police for the protests. And I'm not talking about the June 2020 protests. And please fuck the rhetoric about looting, because that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the days when the BBWC, the Black and Brown Workers Cooperative, literally was a group of like 15 people protesting at an event. And literally police were out on bicycles, outnumbering all those protesters and using their resources to represent and guard fucking buildings and areas, okay? Don't tell me anything about police resources. But you can't get any police, okay? You can't get any police to sit there. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you mean to tell me that a block party, like, police cannot ensure these people's safety? If police cannot ensure safety, did that mean are y'all useless? What are y'all there for? I'm just trying to make it make sense. You feel me? Why would you get paid overtime? I don't understand why you need overtime. Like, our police jobs, 9 to 5 jobs? Like, why are you asking community to pay overtime? You don't got a budget big enough to cover that overtime already? I'm just not understanding how these events get shut down because Main America's not getting shut down. Parkway, I mean, none of this other stuff is getting shut down. I'm just trying to figure out why this gets shut down. See, it's the anti-blackness for me. It's the bullshit for me. It's the lies for me. And let me tell you why it's bullshit and why there's hypocrisy. So, Curtis Jones out here talking about stop and frisk, talking about gun violence. This man had a party at a mansion in West Philly, outdoor gathering over there at Belmont or Bellevue, whatever the fuck mansion it was. And he had this all-white linen party he does annually. And he did a fundraiser for himself for his birthday with dozens upon dozens of political elected officials. Helen Gim was there. Jamie Gauthier was there. Other state reps, Jabari Jones, the one who can't have his own West Fest event. But here they are at this event. And guess what? No gun violence happened. Nobody got shot. Everybody was in all white being cute. Bougie and they're white. But what about the gun violence? What about that? Y'all couldn't ensure those people's safety at that event? I'm just saying. Bullshit. Councilmember Catherine Gilbert Richardson. Now, I like her. But she had hosted an event with the Zetas and the Sigmas because the Zeta convention's coming to town and she's a proud Zeta. And she had her event, at the Man, outdoors. What about the gun safety of those Zetas? Where's the fear there? So this is what I'm talking about, people. It makes virtually no sense that black neighborhoods cannot have their block parties, their gatherings, and their things while these, like Dinner and Block is still happening. They're not going to shut down Dinner and Block, right? Like Dinner and Block's not, are they worried about the gun violence at Dinner and Block? Oh, I guess they're not. Oh, there'll be security around. Oh, But somehow our elected officials in our black neighborhoods can't provide that. So they just shut things down. And you're doing it in the summer where there are kids and children and families that are already having a hard time, right? A lot of these pools are not open for the kids in black communities. Yeah, I saw that video with mostly white kids in those white swimming pools, right? I'm seeing the shit, y'all. I'm seeing it like you all are seeing it. And then they wonder why the crime is going up, why there's shootings, why are kids acting out? Because they're living in unlivable circumstances. You've canceled summer in black neighborhoods, and you've defunded the resources for them. They don't have that many rec centers. They're not having pools. They're not having anything. You've killed summer. You've canceled summer for them, and they have nothing to do. This is an unlivable environment that has been allowed and tolerated by our elected officials and by those in power. They are okay with kids living in neighborhoods with no parks, no pools, no recreational activities. They can't have a fucking block party. You're okay with that environment. And then you're saying to yourself, well, and these are in predominantly impoverished neighborhoods. What are the kids going to do? Well, what can the kids do? An idle mind is the devil's playground. And these kids and their families in these environments they have an idle mind. And you've turned these neighborhoods into a devil's playground. And you're surprised that the violence is happening. You're surprised that these issues are taking off. You're talking about summer curfews for minors. You're talking about all these other things. How do you think any of this is going to work. You can't keep these people cooped up in a house with no resources, suffering from evictions. I mean, you think about the University City apartments, those townhouses. Those people are being literally pushed out right now. They're fighting to live there. Altman Properties is about to put condos and some shit down there, and they're literally not going to have anywhere to go. They're fighting for their housing. And you're sitting up here acting like you don't understand how violence pursues. There's a situation right now where these young, you got 14-year-old, 15-year-old young kids being charged as adults for murder of a 73-year-old man. These are some young black kids that was outside in the neighborhood hitting him with cones, and the man has died. They're being charged as adults for murder. It is sad. It is sad. It's disappointing. The city has failed them. Our communities, our elected officials has failed those children. And I'm seeing people out here talking about they should lock the parents up. They should go to jail. They should get the death penalty. You hear these stupid ass adults, okay, out here, just calling for all the law and order for these kids, and not one time are they indicting themselves. And that led me to a post that said that whining about kids and their families while defunding their resources is a weird fucking flex. It does not make any fucking sense to me. I don't understand how you're flexing about calling for all these laws and policies, but you have done nothing to change the fucking environment. You're putting in curfews, you're putting in all these things, but you have not done anything to make this living sustainable. It is a fucking cesspool. And you're expecting them to smile and succeed like the white people across the street that lives in neighborhoods that are way better. You're expecting them to excel and perform in environments that are not applicable to normal living. This is not a normal living environment. So I don't want to hear anything from any of these people about safety, about anything, because you're not doing anything to address the root causes. You're not doing anything to create the environment to make it better. You're not giving anyone a carrot. You're just giving the stick. And then you keep wondering why shit is happening. Because people cannot live like that. Psychologically. All these degrees, all this social work education these motherfuckers act like they have, and yet this is what's happening. Disgusting. Disgusting. Unacceptable. Y'all, vote them out. Vote them out. Seriously, look at these policies, vote them out. City council elections are less than a year away in the primaries. Go to the polls, vote these people out. I'm tired of it. It's just a fucking enough. Vote them out. You got to. Or better yet, hit them up now and ask them what the fuck they're doing in their neighborhoods. Because they're going to be holding on to that seat to the end of next year. And some of them will definitely fall out anyway because they're trying to run for mayor and set themselves up for failure. So there they have it. So, in other news, the Shade Room, as you all know, had some drama with Cardi B, or maybe you didn't know. So, earlier last week, Cardi B in the Shade Room was going back and forth over the way that they were posting her performance at the Wireless Fest in London, which I must say was a big damn concert music fest. They had everybody there. Nicki Minaj was there. Summer Walker, Giveon, who actually was singing on his mic this time. All of them were there. Meg Thee Stallion, a lot of great performers. It was a great crowd. The crowd was lit for everybody. Cardi did her thing. Well, they showed a video of her in unflattering light, basically showing them tugging. The fans were like a little aggressive with Cardi to the point where they were tugging her hair, and you can see her bop them with the mic because she was trying to let go because she's still a human, okay? And that was all they showed regarding her performance. And then they just, of course, fueling the drama between her and Nicki Minaj, showed a bunch of videos of Nicki with the crowd engagement. And Nicki and I'm sorry, Nicki Minaj gets on my nerves. She's been on my nerves for a while. Y'all been following these seasons. But she's just, the stunts that she's pulling and the things that she's doing, it's just like, it's giving insecurity. It's giving a lot of just this desire and desperation to try to shift the narrative because, her husband, Kenneth Petty, has been reprimanded for not registering as a sex offender. Yes, her husband is a registered sex offender. And he's been violating, court procedures that's been calling on him to make sure he does so. And so every time it feels like there's conversations about her problematic husband, she oftentimes will over and fluctuate and do the most to try to draw attention to herself. And now she finds herself going battling and beefing with Cardi B. And she's just keeping that feud going. I mean, it's just like Nicki is close to 40. Like, you've been in the game for such a long time. Like, what are you doing? Like, like, I mean, there are other artists in their 40s, in their early 40s, like Beyonce. And what I love about Beyonce is that no matter what's happening in the moment, right? She's never feeling intimidated or feeling pressed to have to prove herself or compete with any new artist. I mean, because she's the blueprint. And if Nicki claims that she's the pink print, which I really believe the real pink print is Lil' Kim, but if she's claiming she's the pink print as much as she is, then why is it that you're still feel like you have to belittle and berate up and coming rappers and artists? I just think that's just, it's one thing to say the music isn't as good anymore or whatever, that's arguable. But to feel this desperation to keep going after women, I mean, Nicki was at a level once upon in her career where she was battling against male rappers, and she was in the same conversation with them. I just think it's weird that she's now reduced herself to being in only conversations with these other emerging female rappers. It's just kind of tired and a little played out, especially for an artist that's been around for over a decade. Like, what are you doing? But anyway, I mean, that being said, so Cardi called it out, talked about how the Shade Room has been in the past problematic to her, and she's asked them not to show pictures of her daughter Culture, other things. And they tried to call her bluff and act like she wasn't telling the truth, to which she challenged them on it. And it was a big, huge Twitter fight, to which Twitter, within the Shade Room and her going back and forth. And I decided to hop in the conversation and have some viral posts. And one of the things I said was that I overall find the Shade Room to be a horrible, problematic platform. Now, mind you, they have included my tweets in conversations, have drawn attention to me that I necessarily did not ask for. But they got over 26 million followers. They have more followers on Instagram. I'm sorry, Instagram followers, not Twitter. Instagram followers. They have so many followers. It's wild. They have a massive following that is 20. They got 27 million Instagram followers right now, and what's crazy is that a lot of the posts that they post are messy. Literally, they're called the Shade Room. A lot of it's messy. It instigates real life drama and fights between rappers and artists. It's transphobic. They do a lot of stuff where they purposely target people. I never forget all the time they put Zaya Wade, which is Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union's daughter, who is transgender. They was putting up pictures of her on their social media when she was wearing dresses and, coming out of her identity. And they was basically gassing up and creating an environment where a bunch of grown adults was weighing in with transphobic comments and bullying her online. They create an environment that draws attention. It's like children should be off limits. Trans people should be off. Like, why are you using, like, there's a very dog whistle-y energy. And they even say it, that they're ran by our 27 plus million reckless roommates. So they know that their roommates, their quote unquote followers, are very reckless. A lot of their followers and the people they engage on their platform are very transphobic, homophobic, very sexist, misogynistic. They are problematic. The comments are not filtered or cleaned up. A lot of the stuff they say in those comments are just very disgusting and vile. And like, for example, Lil Uzi Vert, who's problematic in his own right, but now uses they, them pronouns in their bio. And they were the first to jump on it and share it on their platform, to which it opened up a pool of people getting in there saying very anti-non-binary comments, very queerphobic comments. It's disgusting shit. And mind you, this week was National Non-Binary Day. So it's interesting that they don't read the room, quote unquote. They don't even read the Shade Room, right? And what they do. So they really play into a lot of these problematic stereotypes. They enjoy the fuss, the filth. They have built a brand that is fixated on that kind of content. And people really worship it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the kind of stuff that people just don't people just don't take the time to talk about. Like that who started this? Where's the real accountability? Where's the real focus here? What's the priority here? Whose agenda is this? But it's giving a lot, and I'm not a fan of that. I haven't been a fan of it, and so when Cardi B was beefing with them, it was an opportunity for a lot of us, media professionals, journalists, to speak out, and a lot of us black reporters did. It was like this is the issue, is that they do a lot of pay for play. There's a lot of people that are paying for them to run ads of faulty products and services that are fraudulent to me, in my opinion. Products like, oh, people said this hair was real and this, and these people are running fake Twitter accounts, fake ad Twitter posts claiming products are good. Like there was an ad they had on there. This woman said the hair grows, people they grow back instantly. Look what people are saying. And then I went and looked at the post, and those Twitter posts claiming that the hair was this and that. Those weren't even real posts. And so they're running fraudulent ads on their account, on their social media accounts, and getting money off of it. It's disgusting. And I've even seen some scammers I know, like the Nehemiah Davises of the world, running ads on Shade Room. And the way that they do it, they don't even sometimes acknowledge it's an ad or talk about sponsored content. Sometimes it doesn't look like it. It's manipulated in a way that if you didn't know any better, you wouldn't know unless you looked in the hashtags if that was a sponsored content. It's very problematic. I mean, it's just bad ethics across the board. Well, now we're where we're at, and there's a lot of people that are really challenging and questioning some of the stuff that they've been doing. And I'm happy to see that there's some real accountability conversations happening. But like sometimes I feel like we're like long overdue. Like this should have happened a long time ago. But nonetheless, Shade Room has been doing what they've been doing for a while. And it's also feeding into some of the issues with social media. Glad just made a report that basically called out Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, all these accounts as being harmful, giving them a super low rating as being harmful for LGBTQIA individuals. Glad released that report. And I couldn't be any more impressed and glad, no pun intended, that they did that. Because it's not safe. Even with a verified account, Facebook and really Twitter, I would say Twitter and Instagram has not done a good job at protecting people. Like I have to on my Instagram make my comments only can be responded by people I follow, because it's gotten so bad that if you are a queer person and you have a public account and you let your comments open, it automatically people will get on your shit. It's just no protections in place. The reporting metrics are not that strong. It's just not good. And so you have to create your own parameters. But again, I'm a little bit of I'm a mentally strong individual where I don't get the bullying online, and some of the stuff that happens doesn't cause any severe problems for myself. But I am concerned about the young people, and I'm also concerned about people who are not professionally trained or don't have access to resources or therapists or things of that nature as they navigate these platforms. I mean, Constant Rue, who was on Fresh Off the Boat, just came back to Twitter after a 2-year, 3-year hiatus, where she admitted that she almost considered suicide based on the level of bullying and harassment she faced, after simply saying that she just wasn't really too excited about being on the show when the season of the show got renewed. I mean, it's a lot of stuff like that. And she was on she was a big star but she was on Dirty Rich Asians, I think it was called. Crazy Rich Asians. Crazy Rich Asians came out in 2018. It was such a great film. I actually went to the movies to go see it. I really enjoyed it. Aquafina was annoying as fuck, though, and we now realize she's a little problematic, and even she's gotten on social media. But, that being said, a lot of these people are talking about how it's bothered them and how, their mental health is there. So it's a lot of problems with these social media outlets. And I don't think that the, institutions like, GLAAD's report is helpful, but these social media for all this money, these billions of dollars they're worth, they're not doing enough. And it's pathetic. So, in outlets like the Shade Room, right? They're fueling a lot of those problems. I was thinking the other day about outlets like Vlad TV, which if you never heard of Vlad TV, please don't. That outlets like Vlad TV and the Shade Room has resurrected and have given relevance to some of the most irrelevant people that we wouldn't care about any other way. Like, if it wasn't for Shade Room and Vlad TV, Boosie would be irrelevant. He would be obsolete. Like, no one would care about him. Little Duval wouldn't be as known or wouldn't have as much as an amplification. Like, the Shade Room has really given a lot of buzz to a lot of these problematic has-been comedians and rappers that no one would care about. And they put their statements on the pedophile to showcase and broadcast a lot of bigotry and a lot of sexist, misogynistic, colorist ass, homophobic, transphobic ass takes, anti-black takes, we know. They're amplifying that stuff on their platforms and giving these people so much relevance that I remember there was a time where these types of I don't even call them D-listers, F-listers would never get this type of press unless they were being put on a stupid reality show. But like, as far as like media, they were ever given all of that. But I feel like when I go on my timeline, it's the same random ass, irrelevant, talentless hacks that are like consistently given these platforms. They've made money. They're resurrecting the careers of these problematic ass people. Like, Boosie was so like out of the conversation until they decided to keep on promoting his hateful comments, Lil Nas X, and the stuff he said about Zaya Wade, again, a child. Like, all of these people, the shit with, just the countless ignorant ass people that have gotten spotlighted by them is just ridiculous. Which brings me to my next segment, which is fresh, hot off the press. This situation with Sadia Schuler, who owns Country Cooking, the Campbell Prom mom, the one who got in trouble by the feds, and they would call her South of Fraud at one point. Yeah, that lady with the viral videos of her and her bad cooking and her unsanitary cooking, arguably. Well, she decided to be the kettle that called the pot black, and decided to basically go after Devon Seafood. That is her new target. Which, mind you, makes better seafood and food than she does. Let's just be clear. Well, there was an incident. So she was outside dining, and the story ended up going to Shade Room, which is just how you know the Shade Room is just full of shit, right? Like, this is how stunts get made. But anyway, so Sadia was out, Sod, or whatever. Don't mess with Sod. She was out eating at Devon's outside with a friend who had a camera. They were eating lunch in Rittenhouse outside, and there was a situation where a server was, I guess, a dog wanted water, and outdoor dogs being there, they would normally give water in a bowl or something. But in this case, there was a situation where I guess the server was giving the dog water from a cup, from a glass. And Sadia, who said she was upset by this, gets the camera, has her friend filming her reacting to this happening behind her. Yes, guys, trust me, I have all the thoughts here. So she's showing her disinterest with it happening, with the camera. So she's reacting on camera, but she's not getting up over there. She's sitting and she's looking at this happening. She's just being very hysterical and comical, and she's sharing it all on her social media. Long story short, eventually she's going through multiple videos. At one point, she's getting up and she's like playing reporter and mocking and berating, I guess, the service workers who was dealing with that and talking about the sanitation issues. I'm telling this story before I weigh in, so I know some of y'all like, what? I'm trying to tell this. I'm going to then tell you my thoughts, but I just want to get this story out the way. So she gets the water. She gives the water to, not Sadia. The server was serving this water to this dog through a glass. Then she, again, is on camera. She doesn't approach them, but she's reacting out loud. She's being filmed by her friend while she's doing this because, of course, video didn't happen, I guess, in her world. Then she gets up out her chair. She's doing a pose in some outfit she's promoting. She's talking about her plastic surgery or her liposuction. I don't know what it is. But she got some type of tucking in her waist area. And she's holding her hips and showcasing her body in this type of way. Now, this is after several times of her constantly, being loud and just like, mocking and berating the staff hostess over there. So there's another video comes where the staffer is like trying to talk to her, and she's saying, y'all, they trying to kick me out. They trying to kick me out. And lady is, you can hear the lady backwards like, no, I'm not trying to kick you out. I'm just saying, she's like trying to tell her like, hey, I'm just saying, like, you can't be loud and do these, you have to be respectful to guests. Like she was just trying to tell her that, there's a restaurant basically. Like, I mean, do we have, table manners here, people? And and you can hear this woman trying to reassure, and the woman's like, I do not want to be on camera. And so you can see them move the camera away, and you can just see her hands, but you don't see her. But she's asking not to be filmed. And so she's specifically asking Dot Daddy's problems. She's telling people, don't go to Devon's, having this fit, trying to call this woman a Karen and insult her, because at this point the woman is telling her respectfully, hey, I'm not telling you to leave, but you can't do this and blah, blah, blah. And she's yelling at her. She's like, look, I'll just go get the manager. I can't, handle this. And she's like, oh, look at her being a Karen. They're trying to kick me out, throw me out. And she's just being really disrespectful and rude. It was a cringy video. So she turns this around to like tagging Devon. She's getting a diva moment, telling like, you don't know who I am. And, I am, you're going to find out who I am. And she's like being very, all of these things. Okay, the story's over. She sent this to the shade room and the other people to get attention off of it. It's complete clout chasing. She's bringing all this attention to them, claiming the restaurant's unsanitary. How hilarious. And, just basically creating an uproar. Here's what is interesting to me about all of this. So let's start from the very beginning. The dog situation. Now, yes, in my opinion, feeding the dog the water isn't the best thing in the glass. It's not the best situation to do. It's just not. It's a little tacky. But let's be clear. If we're going to make the argument that, a dog's saliva was on, they got to wash it, I'm going to start bringing my own plastic cups. I'm sorry. You go to restaurants every day where there's a ton of disgusting humans putting their mouths on glasses and passing glasses. A dog, baby, child, please. Right? That's the first part. Like, if we're going to argue the sanitation thing, if you're that way, don't go home. Don't go anywhere. Go to your fucking house and eat your nasty food where you put your food in the sinks and you got your nasty gloves and your anti-vax, your anti-vaccination. Like, let's not talk about sanitation, sweetie. Okay? Because, like, to be clear, she's anti-vaccine. She was in the hospital, got COVID, like literally was breathing through a ventilator, talking about how she was messed up, and still urged people not to get the vaccine, talked about how she wasn't going to get the vaccine, and spewed conspiracy theories. So it's just interesting to me that this is the same person trying to talk about sanitation with dogs and glasses. But I proceed. Yes, indeed. So we started off talking about this damn glass situation. Okay, that situation, whatever. To me, mind your fucking business. Mind the business that pays you. It wasn't your glass. It was the dog's glass. Like, you can't be fucking serious, right? That's no way to act, right? If you're that concerned, like, there's a better way to, call, right? And that is where I call bullshit. I don't think that her entire interest at all was to actually be a concerned customer. What happened was that she wanted to go viral. She's a stunt queen. A stunt queen is somebody that looks for trouble, personally start a situation, over-exaggerate a situation to the point where they make it bigger than what it is. She exaggerated a problem that did not require all that drama. It was not that big of a deal. She escalated the situation to make it more contentious, to make someone else's life a living hell. So now Devon has shut the comments down their social media because they want to stop the online fandom and abuse online, and the nasty comments and all the drama, because it's a business, it's a restaurant. And now, those service workers who are busting their ass during the pandemic to still serve some you ungrateful, disgusting heathens, they're now, basically going to be the target of unnecessary drama because one grown-ass adult did not know how to have proper restaurant etiquette. Because let's be very clear, if she really cared about the situation, she would have respectfully and politely asked. And let's be clear, if you really have a problem with something that is like none of your business and like does not really directly like impact you, to me, why would you film it? Why would you camera yourself? And why would you sit there and do all the camera show? That is somebody who was looking for drama. Like, you really came with a camera looking for it. And I hate shit like that because it's obvious that it's not real issues, not real problems. Somebody thought that I was stupid enough to fall for this stunt and got on my messages like, hey, did you see this? Devon's not letting da da da. I'm like, this is not a real issue. This is not a civil rights issue. And what makes me so annoyed is that the people like the Sods out there, the Wallow 215s and others that oftentimes mock Black Lives activists or criticize real activists and organizers who do real work and do the whole shit like, where's Black Lives Matter when black people are killing each other? You know, those idiots, they're the type of people that mock that shit all the time, but then when they have their little first world problems or their issues that are not that big of a deal, they try to act like there's some civil rights movement that's trying to boycott people because they didn't have their little fucking pissy match and piss party and pity party. Like, there's real issues, y'all, that require real action, and these people are nowhere to be found near that. But they'll bitch and they'll holler and they'll whine about the stupid little things that they encounter that are not really that big, but them trying to really flex, but it's really giving tacky, right? So you're there, you're talking about how you have this money, you go there every weekend. Well, this is what happens, black people, when you try to enter white spaces and try to really act as though, put on this performance that you're something higher than of, in these areas that don't necessarily care if you're there or not to say they don't want you there, but just to say that you're there and you try to showcase this level of opulence, and when people are not buying it or don't know who you are or don't care who you are and are not buying your little A-lister bullshit, then this is what happens. Because that's really what it was giving. It was somebody that is arrogant, somebody that is immature, that wanted to have a moment on a service worker's dime. Like, that person's not getting tipped enough or paid enough to sit up here and have to deal with the fuckery. And honestly, at the end of the day, if he was really concerned, that's no way to express concern. But the truth of the matter is, it wasn't concern. It was a stunt. It was an interest in trying to have a moment because people are so desperate for attention out here that rather than do real meaningful things that will get you viral, they will do stuff that is literally like irrelevant to try to make a fuss out of a fuss with a platform that can be used for better use. Like, Sadia has tons of thousands of followers, and yet she's using her platform to basically do frivolous, dumb shit like this, and people think it's entertainment. I'm so sick of this very, like, immature, urban, like, influencers bubble within Philadelphia. Like, Philadelphia's influencer scene is very complicated, it's very nuanced. Like, there's the food influencers, there's the social influencers, there's the restaurant influencers, but there's different segments of people, and there is this really, like, cringy, urban, like, influencer scene that is all about, like, pulling stupid stunts on innocent people and doing whatever for clout. It's not genuine, it's not mature, it's not proper, it's not decent. And they're doing this, and the problem is the consequences are dire for those businesses, because then they use their followers, they sick their followers on these people and these businesses, and can create problems where people will go to the website and then basically give them low ratings on Google. That's why I don't even look at Google ratings anymore, y'all, because I've seen several restaurants where some of these people have had a bitch fit about it, and then the comments, then the people who never went to the restaurant will literally go and rank these restaurants down because they had a little pity party. And so I don't actually, this is why journalism matters. Don't read these reviews on these Google reviews, these reviews. You sometimes you got to go to restaurants or talk to real food critics or really get a sense from other people who've been there. Because a lot of times what we're seeing is people harassing restaurants and using these platforms to misguide their followers to do very harmful things to businesses and local businesses at that. So it's disgusting. I'm not a fan. 0 don't recommend that kind of behavior. And honestly, I'll tell you, if I've ever done something like that, which the last time I think I've really done that was with OCF, that was because I was being discriminated, and I felt like I was, and I feel like there was enough, literally my story and what happened to me and what has happened to other people was legitimate. But like, that's dealing with a white developer. We're dealing with, restaurant owners that are having, service workers go out and do work during the pandemic where they're not filthy rich. I mean, maybe the owners might be, but the people that are working there and trying to make a living, they're not asking for all of that. It's just like, I just hate how people have treated restaurant workers and service workers during this time. All of these influencer critiques about service and this and that. These people are working their hardest and dealing through all the fucking variants that won't go away during this pandemic to just serve you your little filthy little $5 fucking drink. And some of you all, you go to these restaurants and don't have any etiquette, don't know how to fucking tip. I'm going to say it like this and put it on the table. If you go into a restaurant in 2022 and you're not tipping at least 20% for a sit-down meal, you can't sit with us. That's just where I'm at. You can't sit with us. You can't sit with me. If you're tipping less than 20% in this age of inflation to restaurant workers. Don't sit with me in a restaurant. You can't come to me to a restaurant. 20%. 20% or more. Okay? I'm the type that do 20% and round it off. So if a meal is $57, then my tip is going to be I'll just give them $10. It would technically be it would be 12. No, sorry, it would be $12. I would just give them 15. I would round it like that. Like I know it's 57 would be a different number, but I'll be like, okay, $3, what is it, $60? Okay, 60 times 2 is 12, 12. Okay, 12, I'll just give them 15. I would end up giving them a $15 tip for a $60 meal. I will give a $15 tip. That's just how I operate. Because at the end of the day, one, I just hate whenever I spend money, I don't like these odd numbers. I have to round it to something. That's just my own personal taste. But two, that's what you do. Tip people well. I mean, if you got a server that is just straight up horrible and disrespectful, then, 15%. If they're disrespectful and they're horrible, 15%. Or if it's a situation where it's really bad, go to the manager and tell the manager you're not happy with your service. And maybe the manager will comp the meal or something. If it's literally mediocre service where it's not bad, but it's just really, really mediocre, 15%. If it's just really that mediocre. But I'm serious. Not the person that tell me good morning. But seriously, if they just really mediocre at best, 15%. But if they are standard and they're just standard, 20% is at the least, and you go higher than that. That's how I always have tipped. That's how I've been tipping in my life. That's what I do at restaurants. That's just how I operate. If you're doing other things at this and you're grown, you can't go out with me. You can't sit with me, and you shouldn't be going out to a restaurant, to be honest. But I just feel like there's a lot of people out here who I've seen. They're not tipping these people right. They're doing the most at restaurants. They're tweaking the menus 5,000 different ways. I've seen that too, where I've seen people go to restaurants and literally try to transform an entire menu item. And it's just like, what? Again, that could be a whole nother segment. But restaurant etiquette is important, and a lot of people do not have it. And I've gone to some influencer events where I've seen people treat these restaurant servers like shit, and they think because they have some followers that they could be total tools. Man, get out of here. Get out of here. That behavior is unacceptable. It honestly, I think it showed the ugliness of her more than it did anybody else. I think she made a fool of herself. She was, and just continually show how bad for business she is. Brown's Shop Right and all these people give her these opportunities, and it's like, this is what y'all dealing with. Like, this is the person that y'all have represent your restaurant, and yet he wants to be the mayor. Talk about bad decisions and endorsements and supporters. Not here for it. So yeah, fuck that. Support Devon Seafood. Go for yourself. Look, Devon's probably not going to feed anyone water through a dog cup again. It probably wasn't the best idea, but it wasn't the worst idea in the world. At the end of the day, dogs deserve to drink too. Period. So, Ricky Martin, man. I've been hearing about this drama with his cousin, the accusations. But this man may get up to 56 something years behind bars. Allegedly in Puerto Rico, Ricky Martin, who was gay. I thought he was married and had a man. What's going on, Ricky? Apparently got this relationship with this younger cousin or relative that's in their 20s. And apparently the relationship was sexual and they had a relationship. And then when they stopped dating, Ricky became abusive to them. And this person's contacted authorities. And now there's a whole investigation. Ricky's denying the accusations. He says he's not going to give too much details at this time because he's trying to basically offset any of the additional drama that's happening. So he's trying to, he's basically trying to, he's not speaking, basically. There's not going to be a Robin Roberts interview, a Gayle King interview right now, is what I'm trying to say. He needs to, go through the legal proceedings and all that stuff, which makes a lot of sense because right now it's just looking like, what's going on, dude? So he's going through it, but shit, I mean, it's wild. The accusations are really wild. And also, I did not have my bingo scorecard. Ricky Martin? What? Living a vida loca? But listen, one can say the same about Bill Cosby and the rest of them. But we'll see. Speaking of incest, because I'm like his cousin, y'all. Speaking of incest in Hollywood, what the fuck is going on with Elon Musk? First of all, told y'all episode 16 of season 2 that Elon Musk was not going to buy Twitter, that he was going to try to back the fuck pedal. Well, I'm right. Give me my roses. Give me my gots. I had that called. Yes, Elon Musk is not going to buy Twitter. He is trying to back out, claiming about some information. He get information on bots. I knew he was going to bail out because white boys play games. Rich white boys play games. Rich white trillionaire billionaire dudes play games. He is a multi-billionaire, the richest person on the planet. Of course, he's playing fuck shit games. Well, Twitter is trying to sue him actually, and it's not the kind of flex you think it is. Twitter is actually trying to sue him to go through with the deal. And there was also a breakup charge, I think of $1 billion of Twitter if they broke up. Well, they don't even want the breakup charge, apparently. They really want him to go through on this $44 million purchase. And I'm just like, y'all really want to hold him to doing it? The board of directors are trying to force him to do it. And I'm sitting here like, y'all really are trying to force his hand in doing it? Or are y'all doing that to try to get an even larger settlement? Because I'm just sitting here like, we don't want Elon Musk owning Twitter. But I understand he put y'all through it, so maybe he should pay something. But what the fuck? Come on, Twitter. We don't want this man. I hope they don't. I mean, I know at the end of the day it's not going to come through, but it was interesting to say the least. Beyonce. Oh, nope. Before I get to Beyonce, back on Elon Musk's incest, because that's the other incestual thing. Apparently his father is impregnating his adopted daughter who's way younger than him, and he's been raising that girl since she was 4. That is disgusting as fuck. What are these Nathaniels doing? What is going on here in Caucasian land? What are y'all doing? What the Caucasian? This is disgusting. But that rich oligarchy, ancestral inbreeding stuff goes back to Russian times when that kind of stuff is going on. Like this stuff is like ugh, disgusting. Oh my God, what are you doing? Wowed. Okay, wowed. And like it's giving Woody Allen. Y'all know what I'm talking about. What is going on? What is going on? And then also, Elon Musk got babies out here, child. About 9 babies or something out here. He done had twins with one of his old co-workers and stuff. I was like, is that why Grimes left his ass? He got babies all up here. Him and Nick Cannon tweeting about it, giving high fives about keeping it procreating. This is disgusting. But, these people, more men with more money, more problems, clearly. Oh, goodness. Now, Beyonce. Beyonce's album is coming. It is coming. It is coming. It is coming. We're less than 2 weeks away. July 29th couldn't get here any sooner. Renaissance Act 1, we're ready for it. Been ready for it. 16 tracks is on this new album. We haven't heard any of the other songs except for the lead single Break My Soul, which has been doing good on the charts. I'm starting to, even though, I'm all into music nerd shit. So I've been for the longest trying to figure out why that song didn't go number 1. Remember last week I told you that the music video hadn't come out, and had the video came out, the streaming would have jumped it and catapulted it. Well, another major thing it hit me is that this week Beyonce has finally allowed TikTok to use her catalog. Now, you all know I haven't been on TikTok, but Beyonce got on TikTok for the first time ever, and her first video, which is a mishmash of a lot of black queer black users, content users that she tagged and she added, including the video, doing her dance. That video has gotten over 12 million, I believe close to 12 million views on that TikTok video. And she's now has a TikTok account. And that's a big deal for several reasons. One is because now that she's allowed TikTok to have the license, because she probably got a backdoor deal, right? They probably gave you some coins to use the music. She can now be able to get money, right? But she's also able to allow that TikTok to stream those streams that count to the single, which makes Break My Soul, not Break My Heart, Break My Soul an even bigger success story. Because that song, you mean to tell me that song got in the top 10 in Billboard in 2022 without a music video and without any TikTok streaming? That is massively fucking impressive. Like, it hit number 7, y'all, without any TikTok streaming. Most songs nowadays out. Like, the reason why everybody's like, why is Harry Styles' single still on the charts? Why is you know, the other irrelevant white boy that you all like now. I mean, it's always a new white rapper boy that y'all like. I've tried to push him out of my head for a minute, but Jack Drummond. Let me stop. Um, no, but so Jack Harlow. Yes, I try to push him out my head in my memory. Jack Harlow basically um as his song First Class, and it's been streaming. So everyone's been saying, why have those songs stay on the charts? It's because there is a TikTok trend that includes a song, and it's one of those songs that people like to use to market and do their reels. And so that is a popular song that people have liked to include in their reels to showcase all over TikTok. Now, Instagram, Beyonce's song was there doing good through streaming there, but that doesn't carry the same massive weight as TikTok. So a lot of TikTok users have been using As It Was to showcase their trips and their views. And that streaming combined with the music video, combined with the regular purchases and streaming on other platforms, is why that video keeps bouncing back to number one, just like Jack Harlow's First Class. Beyonce did not have any fucking music on TikTok, nor was a song on TikTok until now. I am 100% sure that now with all that, with a music video coming, Break My Soul will get number one instantly. I was trying to figure out why it didn't hit as sooner. Like even Lizzo's About Damn Time, she has a music video. The TikTok, people uses it a lot on the TikTok for their videos. Break My Soul is the perfect type of TikTok sound and thing. So Beyonce showed the girls, was the first to ever use Break My Soul, and she got 10 million views off of her video. So imagine all the fans in the Beehive and everybody using it now this weekend. The streams are going to go up. That's how Savage by Meg Thee Stallion with Beyonce catapulted. It's interesting that Beyonce's having fun making these surprise appearances and shaking up the internet, breaking the internet, right? So her TikTok appearances is epic. But I want to also know something that no one's really been talking about that she did that was also badass. There has been a long time problem with TikTok with black influencers. I've said it for a long time that there's like black influencers don't get enough shy or appreciation recognition. Beyonce made it a point to really include all of these various black TikTok users who are fans of hers, who have like loved her music and her stuff, to include them in her video and showcase them and handle and act them. Many of those influencers now have gotten tons of followers and buzz since then. She literally has amplified them, and I think that is genius and great. And it's just like such a Beyonce thing to do. So that is, to me, the big success, because she could have just simply put a picture of herself and said, "Hey, I'm back." And honestly, the internet would have ate it up. But the fact that she used the TikTok in that platform in a social conscious way to still promote herself, because she is our capitalist queen. But, well, my friend Amanda calls her capitalist queen. But, like, she still found a way to promote herself, but she also found a way to highlight and include those creators in that way. And it's been tremendous. So I definitely think she's setting herself up for success. Now, for the music video, I predict, I could be wrong, but my theorist in me thinks that the video is going to come out on the day the album drops, the 29th. I think she's going to drive it home. It reminds me of the Taylor Swift type of impact, where Beyonce's slowly building a climb. And I think her plan is that the Taylor Swift move would be drop the music video the night the album drops, so that there is a visual to accompany the rest of the album, so that there will be lots of traffic around the video as far as the album. And clearly it's gonna push all of her singles, including specifically Break My Soul, to number one. And then her other singles that come from that album is also going to be magnified. It is what a lot of artists are doing nowadays. Drake just did it too, where now the artists are dropping the albums, and they're doing a surprise album drop. They're doing it alongside of a video drop to complement the entire experience, so that the single can boost. Drake did this with Certified Lover Boy. Even though we knew the album was coming out, he did many videos. He dropped the new video for that single, Too Sexy, so it could chart with Future and them at number one, and also get the views off the video and help the streaming for the rest of the album. It is a strategic move. Taylor Swift has been doing it recently with her last two albums, and I remember like when she dropped she did it masterfully. She just was like, I'm dropping the album, We didn't have a lead single though. We didn't know what the lead single was, but she chose to do a video to Cardigan, and so that was technically the lead single. And it was a video to Cardigan at the same time, and Cardigan went to number one, and a lot of her other singles were also charting high that week on streaming. It was genius. I think that's what Beyonce's going to do. I think she's going to drop the video to Break My Soul on July 29th alongside with the album. I could be wrong, but I just feel like that would make sense. Because at this point, I don't know. She could drop it this week to try to do this like every week she's dropping a surprise. So like last week was TikTok, this week could be the video, and then the album. I mean, either way, these are my options. These are all the things I think she's possibly doing. I'm curious to see who's going to be making cameos in this video. I wonder if she's hinting that she's incorporating some of this Instagram talent in the video. It's giving very much that it's going to be a gay video. I'm sensing that Billy Porter is probably going to be in the video. I'm guessing that there's going to be some house queens. I have a feeling that there's going to be a ballroom appreciation, that it's going to give Pose, it's going to give Vogue, it's going to give Big Frida finally. Like, I hope the Ghost of Big Frida, this is a real story. Look up an article called The Ghost of Big Frida. It's a real thing, where basically the phenomenon is that Big Frida has been on all these hit songs for Drake, remember, Nice for What? He was heard but not seen in the video. Same way with Big Frida with Formation. Big Frida was heard but not seen. But will Big Frida be seen in this video? Will this really be a massive like queer revolution, black queer embrace? I think that's what the video's direction going to go. And I'm just following all her cues and signals. I just have a funny feeling that all of this is not being done in tandem. Because even if I look at the Instagram followers and influencers, the TikTok influencers that she included in her video, that was the same type of energy. So I could be wrong, but I typically am right. So I'm seeing that. Speaking of things, Lizzo dropped the new album. Next topic. No, I'm joking. Lizzo, what can I say? So let me just say this. I listened to her album. It's not bad, but it's not for me. It's great, but it's not for me. That's how I would describe it. It's a cohesive album. It is very on par with Lizzo. Lizzo kept the energy and the temperature. Albums are very upbeat. The album, she definitely put work. The lyricism is there. The songwriting is there. She cared about this album. She definitely curated it really well. I like that it's all new music. The tempo and the flavor is there. It's very much giving we're outside, y'all kind of vibe to like the previous stuff that was very, it was what it was. I've been hearing some of the things that people say about Lizzo, the person versus Lizzo, the artist. I can see the parallels now, the differences. Lizzo, the person, is very, she's on trend. She's very on fleek. She's very gutter. She's very raw. I think a lot of the songs she make, I feel like the energy behind the songs are very commercial and super commercial. And she is a pop star. I cannot take the pop star away from her, but it's very commercial pop. It's very ready for TV, ready for commercial, ready to sell shampoo and Activia. It's very ready to sell middle-aged white women enthusiasm and excitement and upbeat white feminism anthems that are by black artists, because Lizzo is a black artist and Lizzo sings as a black woman. There's nothing white about Lizzo at all, but the flair, the marketing of her music, I think, is being rendered palpable for that kind of group. Like, I just sense a lot of older white women that live in the suburbs are liking Lizzo. They're doing power yoga and soul cycle, and she's their inner black woman, which is highly inappropriate, y'all. But that's what Lizzo's giving, and the white gays are eating her up, no pun intended, and they're just going in for. I feel like that's the audience. I don't think that's her fault though. I don't think. I think she's doing what she's doing, but it's just asserted. I watch it and I just sometimes some of the songs I heard, I was like, This is like the type of song that would be on some that would be the trailer of a Netflix like movie about like a bunch of like white kids going to school that's trying to get confidence. I don't know. It's just there is a detachment. And I was like, maybe it's because I'm a black man. I'm also a black queer man. And I know anthems that are like for the black gays and for the white gays is giving very much like New York pride, white pride energy. Like for example, that song, like This Is Me is like Lizzo, but like that kind of energy. But This Is Me was by a white artist that sung at The Greatest Showman. Like This Is Me is very much a white pride song. Like white gays go to Pride and listen to This Is Me and get their life. It's Lizzo is giving music like that and energy like that. It's also that upbeat beat like Megan Trainor with a little bit more soul and vocal, like early Megan Trainor. It's very just it's yeah. But that's not bad. It's not bad. Like I don't think she's horrible. I don't think her music's bad. Like I Love You Bitch is very creative, and a lot of people are gonna miss this because they're not from Houston. So Lizzo went to Elsick High School. Hello, the same high school I went to. She went to Elite Elsick High School, grew up in Houston for some years, like I did. Went to the same high school. We didn't know each other. Clearly she's, there's a gap. But she went to the same high school as me. I mean, I probably, oh, she didn't graduate from she moved. She didn't graduate from Elsick, but she went to Elsick, I believe. So the thing about Lizzo is that the song I Love You Bitch, I love the song. But I love the song because it is a remix and spin off of Zero's I Hate You. Zero is a Houston rapper, a legendary Houston local rapper who had a famous, infamous song called I Hate You. And the lyric is really go, I hate you, bitch. And the song is about his mother, who basically had a fraught relationship with his mom, who basically, arguably, at some point in time ruined his life, but not really because he became a successful rapper. But early in his career, his mother and him had a really bad relationship. Kind of like on that Eminem, like how Eminem hated his mother when he first came out. Well, he came out the song I Hate You to talk about some of the disputes him and his mother had. It was a very iconic song because when you listen to it, it could be various songs about relationships. It was just the ultimate like emo black song. Like Zero was it was emo. Like his songs are very like semi depressing, but also up. It was weird. But anywho, in the song, it just goes, I hate you, bitch. I hate you. Like I know it doesn't sound upbeat, but it was a man who was angry. The misogynoir hip hop was very complicated back then. But go and listen to the song, the original song, I Hate You by Zero, and it's spelled Z-R-O. Z-R-O. I Hate You is by Zero. Listen to that song and then go back and listen to I Love You Bitch by Lizzo. And you will see what she did to remix it and how it's different and dope. Love that. Thought it was dope. She also samples other songs like Yellow from Coldplay. She has a new man in her life. She's having sex. And she says that Yellow by Coldplay is her makeup song. Her makeout song. No comment. So then there is, I have to choose my words because I know how y'all get on this damn, look, there are people who have taken my podcast episodes and taken like segments and have put them out without full context. And listen, it's happened a couple of times. So I'm choosing my battle. These are, some of this I'm like, I'm going to call Amanda, I'm going to call Jamar, I'm going to call my friends and talk about that. But y'all don't get that exclusive. Maybe if I had subscriber 10, I would charge for like the other things I want to say. That's like you have to pay to listen to. So if I get exposed, then at least I make money off of it. So anywho, she also samples from Lauryn Hill. Girl, you gotta watch out. But she doesn't use the whole song, but she uses that sample. But she has a couple of that throughout the album. It's cool. It's cute. It's a great return to form for Lizzo. I'm not sweating it. About Damn Time is a cute little bop. Just keeping it on. But again, Renaissance is July 29th. And I'm looking forward to seeing what goes there. Update on this, because we're now getting to the end. I know, y'all. Can you believe that I like literally nonstop do my podcast. Like, we're literally, I gave y'all a 3 hour podcast episode. I told you this was an epic episode. I told you 3 hours for 3 seasons. Okay, I told y'all this was an epic podcast episode. I told y'all that y'all, like, if you're working on your laptop, you eating dinner or lunch, you know, maybe you're gonna break this up in act 1, act 2, act 3. I told y'all I was gonna give y'all a full-fledged episode because we had to catch up, and I just did not want to not talk about the things that I brought up so far. But we're here. We're just going through some marathon. I'm just talking, y'all. I cut out time. I gave y'all 3 hours of my damn day. I'm a busy bitch, but I love this podcast, so we're gonna keep going. So, updates on Omarion. I have been following it. So last episode, I talked about verses and how Mario, bested Omarion. And there's a lot going on here. So several things are going on with both of them that's really disturbing. So Omarion is about to drop this little documentary about why B2K broke up and the real story that happened. How convenient that there's a mini doc coming, a little series about the breakup of B2K and all the drama and shit. Which I've been following some of that for a minute. And I told y'all some of the incestualness that was going on. Like, it's so much going on. Orion, his brother, got a OnlyFans account now with an elephant trunk of a penis out on the internet. But he also was the baby daddy to Janae Aiko, who is now dating Big Sean. Little Fizz was sleeping with April Jones, who was the baby mama of Omarion, and now she's messing with Tay Diggs, but Tay Diggs is not really claiming her, apparently, now in the streets, I hear, according to some interview he did in DC. And then, even messy, J Bug dated Omarion's mother. Child, that family, there's a lot going on in that group. And then Raz B is just claiming all kind of other things with Chris Stokes, who was a manager of that group in IMX, which is also added allegations about Marcus Houston messing around with people in the group. It's a lot going on over there in the B2K universe. Family relations, too. I think somebody's related to Marcus Houston. It's a lot of drama. Okay, a lot of drama. And so we're going to find out what happened to B2K. I know some of it, but I'm curious to see Omarion's side. But Omarion has been doing interviews lately claiming that he was sabotaged he could have been sabotaged by Mario's team while I'm doing the verses. And my whole thing was, if you can't sing, they couldn't sabotage your vocals, which I agree with Mario on that point. But where I'm disappointed with Mario is that he has had a big boom since this whole verses situation. Only for him to make his new single be a collaboration with Tory Lanez. And I heard the song is ass. I didn't even listen to it, but I heard the song was ass. Like, god damn it. You two, E2 Brute, Mario, you had me. You had all of me. Except parts of me. But you had my attention. And now you're going to give it to Tory Lanez? Why is the industry still fucking with Tory Lanez? Is it that the budget was low? We could have had a GoFundMe to get you someone better, like Jeremiah, or who do everybody collaborate with? Not Chris Brown. He's just been doing all these problematic collaborations. I'm like, I wish Omarion and him could have just got it together. Maybe we could have had him on the song. I don't know. I'm just very disappointed. Bryson Tiller could have did the damn song. Shit. Neo is coming back. Even though no one's asking for Neo to come back, but hell, Neo could have did the song with you, Mario. You could have got Anderson .Paak or Lucky Day's nasty ass, because apparently Neo, because I'm just going into all this mess, because I'm going a little fast, but Neo apparently said that he could have signed Lucky Day because Lucky Day was about to get signed. Neo was about to sign him, but he let him stay in his crib, and he told him the one thing you couldn't do is go in my master bedroom. You can have the whole place, the whole condo, do what you want to do, but you couldn't go to my master bedroom. Well, Lucky Day, Neo came back. Lucky Day had a girl in the bedroom. I'm like, you in this man's bed, you nasty bastard. So Neo couldn't fuck with him. Well, Lucky Day's career continued to go on. I mean, he's got Grammys now. He's doing his thing. And, now, I'm just saying that could have been someone Mario could have collaborated with. But here we are. Right? This is what we're dealing with. So, yeah, Lucky Day won a Grammy for Urban Contemporary Album. He won his first Grammy. That's crazy. He's a Grammy Award winner, which is good for him. Because a lot of these new artists, it's hard for them to win albums out here because of how competitive the stuff is. But he's 36 years old. He'll be 37. Giveon is 27. Ooh. Jasmine Sullivan is 35. I mean, he could have worked with Giveon or Brent Fias. He could have worked with some other people. He could have worked with other artists. Anderson Paak, Khalid. Khalid is out here doing the damn thing. He could have worked with some other people. He did not have to work with Tory Lanez. I just don't see the point. Or Chris Brown. But this guy doesn't know any better. So, and speaking of Chris Brown, Houston stand up. There's a woman suing him for over $1 million, claiming that there was a charity event that got canceled and he took the money even though the event didn't go on to perform in the charity event. And so now she's about to, I guess, sue him for that $1 million. Well, what are we? Are we surprised that Chris Breezy is doing, is breezing on the people? So I try, I try to listen. But like I tell people all the time, I know bullshit when I see it. And that, my friends, is bullshit. So, moving along, Emmy nominations. Emmys are here. The Emmys nominations are finally here. As a proud member of the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences Mid-Atlantic chapter of the Emmys, the Emmy nominations were fabulous. I was super impressed. I was very happy. Abbott Elementary had some great nominations. The White Lotus, Secession, killed it, which you knew Secession was. There was a lot of great nominations. Shirley Ralph had her first Emmy nomination in years. She's never had one. Finally got one. Great career. How you doing? Amanda, don't laugh at me. I'm just happy that she got nominated. She is a legend. She has a Hollywood family. She's gotten a Tony nomination for Dreamgirls. She's the original Dreamgirl. She was the original Dina in Dreamgirls. She's a legend, and I've met her several times, and I love her, and I'm happy she's got this Emmy nomination. I actually got a bunch of pictures with her, actually. I never post them that much, but, she's there. My dream came true. Janelle James, who played the principal at Abbott Elementary, got nominated. I ain't gonna hold you. I want her to win. But if Shirley Ralph wins, I will be happy for her, too. I know that campaign gonna be competitive because there's a sympathy vote, not a sympathy vote, but it's sympathy, right? It's Shirley Ralph, this is a good, she hasn't won that many major Hollywood achievements, but she's been working her ass off for decades. So I think there's an element of people that really would like her to win. But I think everybody knows that the light of comedy in that show is Janelle. And she's just fiery. And she's just comically timed. And she's just she's just really good at what she do. Her performance is stellar. And it deserves. Oh, if we're talking performance, she should win. I know all them Ted Lasso girls got nominated, but no. This is definitely Janelle James's award. But if Shirley Ralph wins, I would not be mad at it. If she wins, I will get up and clap and cry because it will be really, it will feel like a lifetime achievement award for her. Her performance in Abbott Elementary is really good. But I mean, if you're comparing what else is going on in that set, Tyler James Williams being nominated, for his role is phenomenal. So happy for him. Long time deserved. If you was a fan of Everybody Hates Chris, you knew that Terry Crews and Tisha Arnold was not the nuts and bolts. I mean, they were entertaining, but he was as Chris. Even though we really do hate Chris Rock in real life, and he's a fuckboy. But his character in that, phenomenal. The work he did in Dear White People, he has been long overdue for some great industry recognition, so I'm very happy for him. And then Quinetta Brunson, Philadelphia, West Philly, stand up. She is the first Black woman to receive a writing, producing, and acting nomination in one spiel. Okay? Nominated for Best Lead Actress in a Comedy, up against Issa Rae and others, which is, for Issa got the final one for Insecure. Stellar performance. Great work. And the show deserves Best Comedy. I know people want Ted Lasso, talk about Ted Lasso, but Ted Lasso just feels like overkill to me. I really hope it does not win. I really want Abbott to. It's a new show. It's the only great network TV show that's been out in comedy since Modern Family. It needs it. Speaking of shows that did do too well at the Emmys, This Is Us did not. I'm not sweating it. This Is Us has always been melodramatic as fuck to me. I just feel like the show is just so dramatic. I wasn't too crazy about it, but I was happy for Stoney K. Brown getting that real serious drama Emmy win. But it's not. It's I'm not crying a tear over it. Some shows got to go. Squid Games did really well in the nominations pool. Succession clearly, I think Succession is going to win drama. But I must tell you, Euphoria did way better than I thought. Fucking oh my goodness, Zendaya got like 4 nominations. Like song category, her second acting lead actress. She's previously won the past, but her second acting. Which that lead actress category, I could see her getting it again. I know a lot of people really like Rue. I could see her winning it again. But Sydney Sweeney is in the supporting drama actress category. She's got 2 nominations this year. That for The White Lotus and for that. But The White Lotus supporting actress category is like 4 actresses in that category. So I don't know if any of them are going to win. But Sydney Sweeney may have a little campaign. That white girl has been acting her ass off this season. So you just never know there. Shows other shows that got nominated. So Insecure got it. Blackish got swiped out. They didn't get any nominations for their final season. That was actually surprising. A lot of the major nominations they did not get. They just got swept over. Other shows that I was surprised I didn't get that much love. Gaslight with Julia Roberts did not get any love. I knew that Viola Davis was probably going to get snubbed for her performance in The First Lady. All the First Lady actresses didn't. Impeachment did not get any love hardly, except for Sarah Paulson for her riveting performance as Linda Tripp. But I was surprised all of those, like Clive Owen and all those other actors didn't really get much love. I thought his performance as Bill Clinton, Freudian slip, was really good. But no, Edie Falco, all of them, a lot of those nominations did not happen for them. So that was very interesting that some of those actors didn't. I didn't really follow into it. TV movie category is weird because limited series is badass, but TV movie category, like Chip and Dale's nominated, like where did they do that at? There's like hardly any good movies there except for one about the Holocaust, and that's probably going to win because everything else was just childish and silly. Other acting surprises and snubs. I mean, Stranger Things didn't really get that many nominations, which was interesting because it's like the final season. People were surprised that Selena Gomez did not get a nomination for Strangers or whatever, Murders. And I heard it's a good show, but her co-actors did. Martin Short and Steve Martin, and they did, but she didn't. But I think she probably will next year because I heard this season she's a lot more present and a little bit more active. But this was a tight, competitive year for the Emmys. I mean, the acting, the caliber. It was a very competitive year. And I honestly would say that I thought they did a good job. I thought that they did a really good job across the board with the representation and the people that were nominated. I just thought that they did a good job bringing everybody in. To see Euphoria in the drama series, Yellow Jacket, Squid Game, all these types of shows. The comedy one interesting thing I will say. I was surprised that the only major nomination Atlanta got was for Donald Glover for Best Lead Actor, which I thought was a waste. I didn't think he was the best thing this season. I thought that the other supporting characters were better, but no. Yeah, Atlanta didn't get that much love, but Donald Glover did, which was interesting. Succession, though, they came through Brian Cox and Jeremy Strong for lead actor. I don't know who's going to get lead actor this year, but I wouldn't be mad at Jeremy if Jeremy Strong got it again. But I don't know. It's competitive as hell. In the lead actress category, I could see Zendaya getting it again, personally. Lead actor comedy, Jason Sudeikis can get it for Ted Lasso. I don't see any strong people. I think that's going to be him again. Lead actress in a comedy series, it's complicated. You got the marvelous Mrs. Maisel back again. The flight attendant, Kaylee Kuko, which a lot of people like. Issa Rae and Jean Smart again for Hacks. I can see her again. The lead actor in the limited series, I don't know. You could be Michael Keaton in Dope Sick or Andrew Garfield in Under the Banner of Heaven because a lot of people like him. Lead actress in limited series. Another hard one. This could go any type of way. You got Amanda Seyfried for The Dropout, which has been very popular. Sarah Paulson's very popular, but the show isn't. I don't know. You got Toni Collette. You got Julia Gardner. It's a mixed bag. It's a very. I'm curious to see who's gonna pull that one off. Actually, that's interesting. TV variety show was good. Lizzo got some nominations for Lizzo's Watch Out for the Big Girls or Amazon Prime Video. Got a lot of nominations. Um, Supporting actress in drama series is also another interesting mixed bag. You got Sarah Snook and Jay Smith Cameron for Succession. I thought Sarah Snook should have been a lead actress in the drama category, but they still put her in supporting actress. I thought she was stronger as a lead this year. Supporting role, three actors from Succession: Nicholas Braun, Matthew McFadden, Kieran Culkin, which I don't know. I don't know if Matthew McFadden was really good. But you also got Christopher Walken in here. You got John Turturro. You got Billy you got a lot of other actors. It's going to be hard. I think some of these multiple nominations, like, for example, in the supporting actress situation, Ted Lasso has three. Abbott has two. And then there's Hacks, one person for Hacks, one person for The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and then one for Saturday Night Live, which is Kate McKinnon, who previously won in the past. Are people going to like cancel each other out here? It's just so many fucking categories. And let me be very clear. 8 nominations. The Emmys apparently increased their nominations pool as an attempt to, because of the fact that there's been so much fucking TV, that their mindset was that, oh, this will create opportunity for diversity of performances to be considered. Well, that backfired, because what actually ended up happening is that the Emmys viewers clearly not watch that much TV. Because there was a lot of shows that did happen, but a lot of shows are not being nominated at all, because it's clear they watched a handful of shows and just nominated multiple people for those categories rather than actually, mix it up a little bit. So we're not really seeing that much diversity in these nominations from shows. Like, I'm looking at, like, supporting actor for Ted Lasso. It's got 3 actors nominated. And then 2 for another show. And then the rest are different shows. But but then again, supporting actress. Let me correct myself. 5 actresses out of the 7 are nominated for The White Lotus. 5 out of 7 of the nominations for supporting actress in limited series is The White Lotus, and the other 2 are for Dope Sick. So that's like 2 films represented in 7 nominations. It's just bad. Like, I'm looking, like, the limited series categories is nothing but like the White Lotus and Dope Sick, and then Pam and Tommy is in a couple of them. So it's going to be interesting to see how this play out. I'm just looking at some of these categories, and it's like, were these performances really that good? Like, even in the guest actor category, 4 out of 6 of them are from Succession, and then 2 are from different shows. Shout out to Coleman Domingo. Shout out to my girl Sanaa Lathan. I'm happy Sanaa Lathan got a nomination, but for her role in Succession. But that, all of that category, is this overkill. And so there's just a lot of interesting things happening in that department. What I will say though is that there's a lesson to be learned, because this year a lot of these TV shows, like the show about WeWork, We Crashed, that didn't get any love, really. Like, Anne Hathaway didn't, Jared Leto, none of them got nominations. The First Ladies show, that didn't get any. Gaslit didn't get any major ones, even though Julia Roberts and Sean Penn were in it. Like, I thought coming in, even oh my God, that show on marriages, like Notes for Marriage or something like that. I just knew that there was going to be some actors there. Now, mind you, there were some actors that came and got some support, but when I look at some of these categories of actors who were nominated, these categories are really staggered. Like, I just thought that there was going to be some people that were just going to be a shoot in because of all the buzz. Like, there used to be a time where if you knew a major Hollywood actress like Anne Hathaway or Julia Roberts was in a show, you just knew they were going to get nominated. Nowadays, so for example, Oscar Isaac in Scenes from a Marriage. I just knew his co-star was going to get nominated. And Oscar Isaac is a nice looking old head. I just knew that she was going to get nominated with him because she killed that, okay? But Jessica Chastain won an Oscar this year, which I don't know if that played a role, that they didn't want to just give her all the awards this year, and she would have been like halfway done with an EGOT. But I thought Scenes from a Marriage was really good. I thought that they both was gonna just like ace it, but it didn't happen. But Jessica Chastain has an Oscar this year, so it's like, um, you know, is it like that much of a, The Eyes of Tammy Faye was phenomenal. I was happy she put out that Oscar win, as you all know, but I thought she could have, got a nomination there. But it's a mixed bag. But I'm excited nonetheless. Countdown to the Emmys is coming. We'll definitely be doing some updates there. So, other shows. Been watching P-Valley. If you have not been watching P-Valley, it's on the show called Stars. Catch up, watch it. It's the best show on TV right now, period. I don't care what you're watching. P-Valley is the most interesting, most thoughtful, most conscious, most entertaining, woke show right now. The Katori Hall is doing great work. That's a show that should be getting Emmy nominations. That's a show that should be winning Golden Globes. But, y'all don't give Black art the respect it deserves often, unless it's like, major. But yeah, I love this show. I think this show is phenomenal. It just feels good. It's a good show. Highly recommend it. I've been watching Baddies South, and that's on the Zeus network, and the girls are just fighting and fighting and fighting. There's nothing sophisticated about it. I just like to tell you all, it's my guilty pleasure. On Zeus, for those who do watch, Baddies, the Houston auditions, they're doing auditions for Bad Boys. They're not called the Baddies, they call them Bad Boys. They're in Houston, which is, my hometown, and they're doing auditions for the next cast of Bad Boys. No, Mr. Owens does not fight. That's why I can't be on Bad Boys, because I don't fight. I fight with words. I don't fight with hands. I'm not a physical. Can I fight? I can fight, but I choose not to. I don't want to be in an environment where I would have to fight physically. So no. I have no interest in being on the show. Would I like to be an executive producer? I couldn't for my reputation's sake. But, there are times where I'm like, you know what? I would let me call up Natalie Nutt and just say, listen, girl, we can run these cities together. Because I would love to just, never, if I came to the show, I would have to do some things to tweak it a little bit. Because I need these entertainers. Listen, I'm all for the ratchery, but I need some focus a little bit sometimes. I'm like, what are they doing? It's a show about nothing, and it could be about a little something, and there's something there, but they're spending most of their time arguing, fighting with each other. They're like, oh, let's get the bag. I'm like, well, where are you getting the bag at? Where are you going? They're starting to make some club appearances, but it took several episodes for them to finally go out of the house. But they just it's giving me the real world, except they're not trying to talk about real issues. And when they do, it's kind of really poorly done. But I watch it. I'm so complicit with the horribleness of this show. But it's the Black content creators that are producing the show, they know what they're doing. You know what you're doing when you're watching it. And it's out of the vortex of televised television, network television. So it's almost it's just what you're choosing to watch. And they're very clear on that. So, I like what I like to watch. Well, that is all for the season 3 premiere. As you can see, it's been 3 hours. And I definitely should sit down and drink on some Recess, which Amazon Prime had Recess Mood, which I love Recess Mood. Recess Mood had a 20% off for Amazon Prime Day. And so I was very surprised about that. So I ended up getting a box. But I say all to say that, yes, this was a great episode. I really had a good time catching up. There are some really big surprises coming. I have to be quiet on it for now, but there's some really big surprises that are coming. Hopefully by the next episode. And I can't wait to just explode and burst with it. Stay tuned. The NLC convention is this week. I'm excited. My wardrobe is ready. I can't wait to go to another hotel. I love hotels now. I'm becoming a hotel rat. But I'm super excited about it all. And, it's been a summer of surprises and good stuff going on. I just hope that people are just being well and taking care of themselves and just, enjoying the view while they can. So, as always, be well and be best. Ernestly Speaking is recorded in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and can be found on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. To stay up to date with the latest on the show, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Mr. Ernest Owens.
Use the hashtag Ernestly Speaking to tell me what you thought about this episode, and check out my website at ernestowens.com.